11:30. We're gonna try something different for the music today, because I'm feeling like listening to jazz, but I'm gonna pray that this isn't like copyright. Let's see. Because like some of them say, but some of them don't say, well, this one says jazz, no copyright. We'll use this one. It's like cold today, which is crazy because last week was insanely warm. And I thought like for sure like, oh, I guess summer's here early. Sob. But no, this week is pretty cold. I heard on the radio um, that yesterday was as warm as it gets. Today it is completely overcast. Um, Today it is completely overcast, and I'm not sure what to do with myself now. So I'm gonna try and copy the background style here. Let's see. So we need something yellow. I got some stuff that I definitely want to talk about today. There's definitely been some silliness going on. But of course, it would be good to wait for people to come into the chat before I spill all of the tea and then suddenly have nothing left to spill. Let's see. It's probably fine. It's just a bit close to like... It's a little close. I'll make it a bit darker. But that's too dark. I know color theory decently well, but apparently not well enough. I mean, maybe it'll be fine. We are just going to like put a thing like this over it anyways. That is crazy. That gradient didn't like do nothing at all. Do something like that, yeah. Could be a little bit stronger. Oh my god. Oh, hi Kira, welcome. Welcome. We're trying something different from the video game soundtracks today. I thought I'd put on some different no copyright stuff. It seems kind of nice. It's cold. Again, it's cold today. I just don't feel like having the video game soundtracks on. I feel like I've been using those a lot, and I'm feeling something like a little more jazzy today. Fits the vibe. I'm gonna skew this closer to white just to get like something a little bit more intense, because I'm not seeing it too well, like compared to this one. No, that's a little bit too high, but that's okay. Just move it down, stretch it out a little bit so I don't have to worry about that. Alright, there we go. My ad is about to start. Bop. Just snooze that real quick. Let's see. What has happened since last stream? Last stream was the Hollow Knight nighttime stream where I was very sleepy and I wasn't sure what to say. Unfortunately, pretty often, I definitely don't know what to say. Let me think. So, I worked Friday and Saturday. I can't remember what happened. Friday was actually alright. So I had work as usual, you know. Real quick, I'm gonna search up some sunflower reference. I hope to God some of these aren't AI generated. Most of these look real. Anyways. Friday was like super slow in the morning, right? So we're kind of like sending some people home kind of early. Which is like, okay, that's normal, but like, in the back of my head, I'm not even in the back of my head actually. I'm just like warning everyone, like, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's Friday, and it's gonna be the school rush like pretty soon, right? Oops. Let's see. It's Friday, and it's gonna be the school rush like relatively soon, and And then it's like, it's fine, it's fine. It's been like slow all day. That's the worst that can happen. They never listen to me. They never listen to me. That's like the common thread here. So, needless to say, the school rush certainly happens. And, oh boy, we definitely got slammed. So it was 4 people in the store. It was me, my manager, one cook, and one other frontline person. Now the frontline guy we have, he's like not super new anymore, but like he could stand to be a little bit faster at window. And typically we don't usually put new people at center because it gets a little bit confusing and a little overwhelming at center too. And there's the matter of like center's like a huge part of center post job is like quality assurance. Like we gotta make sure everything is bagged right. We gotta make sure like all the food is good. That's what center does. Besides like bagging and putting things on trays. Hello, Sunbatson. What fools? How could they not listen to you? Exactly. How could they not listen to me when I've worked in that location for so long? But it's okay. 'Cause technically it was like fine afterwards, so it's not like it was a super big deal. So what ended up happening was, we get slammed, for the school rush. It's like, this is the best that we can do. Now, the guy is off at, like, the other frontline person was off at, like, 3 or something. Like, some time where it's still, like, in the middle of the school rush, basically. And rather than keep him, hello, Butch Pop, and, like, so, like, rather than keep him for, you know, until we know for sure that the rush is over, we sent him at, like, 3, a little bit, just only a few minutes past 3. And I was just like, Irma, are you sure you want to be sending people home right now? Because we are slammed, and I don't know how long this rush is going to last, because Fridays can be a little bit unpredictable like that. And she said yeah, and I was just like, oh boy. Oh boy. Thankfully though, I think shortly after he left, it did actually slow down significantly. Like, it slowed down enough to where, what's the word I'm looking for? It slows down enough to where I could, like, essentially clean the whole dine in, like, 40 minutes. And we ended up letting the cook go home early, too, so it was just me and my manager in the store for 30 minutes. But it wasn't too bad at all, like I said. And then Saturday was unbelievably slow. You guys aren't gonna believe what I had to do on Saturday. So I'm always at drive-thru window, right? Like, that is my post at this point. Like, it is my drive-thru window. And, there's probably, like, an easier way for me to do this, but, I'm stubborn. Like, the drive-thru window is my station. So I'm always there, and something that I like to do when I'm at drive-thru window is just, I like to look out into the bushes. Like, I got a nice view of the main street and the bushes, and sometimes there's little birds that hop around in there, and it's very cute. On Saturday, I'm looking out there, Saturday morning, and I can't help but notice, there's a little mound of fur in the bushes, and I'm like, oh my god, what, like, is that a dead animal? Lo and behold, it was indeed a dead animal. So I get I get the shift leader who's in charge, and I'm like, hey, do you see that? Like, do you see that there? And she's like, see what? And we're both, like, looking out the window, and, like, trying to point to it. And she's like, oh my god, yeah, I do see it. And I'm like, should we move it? Because, not to make light of, like, dead animals in our bushes. Or anything like that. But the Carl's Jr. training videos certainly did not cover how to dispose of dead bodies. So I'm like, so here's my thought process. I'm not gonna make the shift leader do it because she definitely, like, seems like a little, like, scared or grossed out by it, right? So it's like, that wouldn't be fair. I'm a tough person. I'm a tough person. I can, like, move the dead body. Or, like, I can pick up the possum. And I'm not gonna make the kitchen ladies do it, because they work in the kitchen. That's arguably worse if I made them do that. And, you know, like, obviously we're gonna wear gloves, we're gonna wash our hands, but, you know, if I can avoid having the kitchen people touch a dead animal, I think that works out better for everyone. So, I go out there with my gloves. I actually even, like, take off my bracelet, because I don't want my bracelet somehow accidentally touching the animal. I just did everything that I could to make sure the animal, like, the only thing that the animal was touching was the gloves that I put on. I thought it was going to be fine, right? Like, I thought, like, you know, not that I'm used to stuff with, yeah, I don't want the cooks touching something like that. That would be disastrous, in my opinion. So I go out there, and in my head, it's like, okay, well, you know, it's not that I've necessarily handled dead bodies before, but I've certainly done maybe grosser jobs before, right? Like, I've had to clean up vomit in the playroom, I've had to, what else? Like, cleaning the toilets is another one. Like, this is not that bad. I get out there. Oh boy. The possum was a lot bigger than I thought it was, initially. Like, a lot bigger. So already I'm just like, oh boy, that's a pretty big rodent, huh? And, rigor mortis had already set in. I think, I don't know how it died. If I had to guess, it's either old age or rabies. Because, you know, it was a pretty big possum. But it also didn't really have any, like, injuries on it, so not too sure about that. But I go out there, rigor mortis is already set in, and I'm trying to, like, it's huge. Like, it is massive, and I'm, like, trying to grab it by the tail. But of course, it's, like, dead weight now, so it's, like, even heavier than what it normally be. And the other thing in the back of my head is that it's a possum. Possums play dead. And I'm like, what if this thing actually isn't dead? And it, like, I grab it, and then it, like, I don't know, bites or scratches me. Like, that's the other thing that I'm thinking about. No, it was definitely dead. It was definitely dead, and, oh boy, how do I even begin to describe, like, what this felt like? It was hard as a rock. I don't necessarily know if that's because it was cold outside, or if that's just, well, I'm sure that's, like, rigor mortis is, like, a huge part of it. But it was cold outside, and it's just hard as a rock, and I'm, like, trying to figure out, like, where do I grab this thing? Again, initially I tried by the tail, but it was just way too big, way too heavy to do that. And I have, like, the paper bag in my hand, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this. So I'm, like, grabbing it by, like, its rear, its flank, and it's like this. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all to, like, grab it. And I'm, like, lifting it a little bit. Its limbs are just kind of, like, stiff and, like, in the air. It's so strange. So unbelievably, like, what is happening? But eventually, I think the way that I got it into the bag was that I just held the bag, like, towards its head and just kind of, like, I didn't, like, lift it, like fully like this. It just, like, kind of, like, having it hover off the ground and just slid it in there. It didn't even fit in the bag all that well, too. So now my next problem is like, okay, well, these gloves, for one, I don't want to go I don't want to throw it away inside the restaurant. That would be insane. But two, everyone has gone inside already, and I can't and I can't open the door either because I'm still wearing the gloves that were touching it, and I'm like, where do I throw this? Like, genuinely, I don't know where to throw it because you know, we don't have training videos on this. I ended up throwing it away in our dumpster because, you know, again, I'm not throwing it in a trash can inside the restaurant, and there wasn't really any other options. But then in hindsight, I was like, we probably should have called animal control, huh? That probably would have been the smarter thing to do. But I'm not... I have gone dumpster diving before. I would not dumpster dive for a dead possum. So that was Saturday morning. Saturday morning was unbelievably slow, besides that. Like, of course, we had, like, our usual, like, rushes and everything, but, like, nothing, like, outside of the rushes, which is nice. Yeah, animal control, they sure exist. They definitely exist. I completely forgot about them. So yeah, I'm sure my manager's gonna have, like, a field day when I tell her about that. Another thing that happened, now this didn't happen on my shift, but I did get called at home to deal with this a little bit because, I am essentially the store's, like, on-site, half IT person, kind of. As in, I know how to work, I'm a little bit more tech literate than, like, a lot of the workers at the store. So, usually I get called in to, like, or sometimes I'll get, like, asked to, like, deal with something, or, like, can you fix this? I'll be like, maybe. So what ended up happening, Sunday, Johnny called me, and I'm like, why are you guys calling me? Do you need me to come in? Because if you make me come in, I'll be working 6 days this week. It's like, no, it's nothing like that. They were asking me, how do you delete files on the computer? Like, the office computer, right? And I'm like, don't you just, like, are you guys on, like, the file explorer? Because I know it's a Windows system, right? And they're like, yeah, like, we tried right-clicking, and we tried, like, there's no trash bin, so we can't, like, drag and drop it either, so I'm just like, okay, that's weird. And basically, there was just some files that they had, and they didn't want them anymore. And I told them, I told Johnny and my manager, like, okay, well, if you don't have access to, like, deleting any files, then you're gonna have to, like, log into, like, the admin or something, because it sounds like there's just some stuff that admin restricts other users from using. Like, for example, there's no way to access the internet browser unless you open, like, the Carl's Jr. University thing and then open a new tab. That's the only way to get to Google on that. And then I think also recently, for some reason, corporate also deleted Outlook from there, so nobody can reach their emails, which is hilarious. But yeah, I told them, like, if you can't delete files, it's probably, like, an admin, permissions thing, and you need to, like, log into admin to do that. But of course, admin is protected by a password, so they couldn't really do that, and they ended up calling help desk. Later that day, me and Johnny, we're taking Butters to the park, and he's like, those files that were on the computer, Kyra, they were weird. And I'm like, weird? How? So, it was like, all in all, it was just 3 separate files, right? But, like, these files, like, kept repeating, like, there were, like, the group of 3, there was 3 duplicates of that group of files. The first one was, like, a Google Docs template with, like, some charts and other things and filler text and, like, a picture of the Earth from the moon. It's like, that's weird. I forget what the second thing was, but the last thing, this one was kind of creepy. So, what it was, actually, you know what, I'm gonna erase more, actually, in there, actually. So what it was, it was just a lot of text sort of in like a, not necessarily like calligraphy font, but like a really like fancy font. I'm gonna have to ask Johnny to send me a picture of it. And it's like a whole text document. But the thing is that when you looked closely at all of the words, absolutely none of them made sense. It was just random. Like, it was definitely words, but, like, none of these words actually formed, like, a coherent sentence structure or anything. It was weird. Like, insanely weird. And here's the worst part about all of this, right? It's like, okay, well, it's one thing, like, if, like, you know, you accidentally, like, downloaded some files. It's another thing when it ends up being something like this. They called help desk, Johnny and our manager, and the thing about the files is that they were created back in like 2020 or 2021, like years ago by now, right? And then they were transferred to the computer in 2025, and we don't know how. My initial thought was, okay, well, somebody between Friday or Saturday or just whenever, somebody got onto the thing and maybe like accidentally like uploaded some files like with a USB stick or something, right? Like pretty like solid explanation if you ask me. When they called help desk was like, oh yeah, somebody had access to the computer, like remote access to the computer and put the files up there, but we'll delete it for you. They don't even know who had remote access to the thing. Cause, like, huh? What? What do you mean somebody had access to the computer? Because I was explaining to Johnny, I think there's only a few ways that files from one computer can get onto another computer, and that's via USB, or like downloading it from an email, or just like general like file sharing stuff, right? But a lot of that, it's like you need like back and forth communication. Like you need to either like bring the USB there, take it back and copy, bring the USB there, copy the files into the thing, take the USB out, or like let's say it's via email, the person receiving that email needs to download the thing, and that just wasn't the case. So it's like, who had remote access? Whose files were those? And how did this even happen? Like actually, how did that even happen? Because, you know, again, there's a reason why there's so much, like, there's so many, like, functions on the computer that end up getting, like, removed, right? Like, there's functionally no way that anyone can get a virus on there, especially considering, like, sorry, recording stuff. I'm gonna try and make a TikTok out of this. I haven't chosen a song yet, though. My guess was that it was Purple Guy. Maybe. He's really, like, coming back with this one, isn't he? FNAF is so funny to meme on. So it's like... It's like, there's effectively no way to get, like, a virus, realistically, right? Like, not without really trying. So I don't know what that was. It's a little spooky, because it's like, even if it's not necessarily, like, supernatural, it's like, well, how did they get access to the computer? Like, who did this? But, you know, it's like, dilemma resolved until next time, I guess. Yeah, and then Johnny was telling, like, another, like, coworker about it, and she's like, nah, that's some demon shit right there, and I'm like, yeah, it does kind of sound like some demon shit. I love the, I think what it is, like, there's, like, some people out there who say, like, the circuit boards on computers, kind of look like old demonic, like, writings or something like that, and I think that's hilarious. And it's not necessarily that I believe it. Like, you know, I'm not necessarily atheist, but I'm not necessarily like Catholic either. It's more of like, I like to believe that there's like some supernatural stuff out there because it adds a little bit of whimsy to the world, and it makes really like weird situations like this a little bit more like fun and entertaining for my dumb little reptile brain, right? But like the whole circuit boards kind of look like demonic writings. Again, not necessarily that I believe it, but I can't blame people for thinking that sometimes, considering how like messed up technology is sometimes. Like you know the back in the early days of like AI generated stuff, there was like AI just, people were asking AI like, hey, can you show us what the end of the world looks like? And it was, it's not necessarily that it was accurate, but it was a little like Jesus Christ. Like, why? So that's a sunflower. But yeah, hello, welcome 7 viewers. This is certainly an interesting conversation to come up to. I don't think this is how sunflowers necessarily look, but I don't know how else to fix this. So yeah, very, very silly happenings at the store. Maybe the dead possum was haunting the computer. You know what? That could be it. That could be it. Again, not necessarily that I super believe in, like, supernatural stuff, but it's fun to entertain the idea, because, you know, just makes the world a little bit more whimsical. Makes the world a little bit more silly. You know what I mean? Let's see, what do sunflower stalks look like? You know what? Speaking of sunflowers, too, actually. Johnny ended up showing me a TikTok, about sunflower stalks. Those things, apparently what you can do is that, you can, like, leave them out to dry and they become super, super stiff. Like they're suddenly made out of wood. They don't necessarily last, like, a long time, but it does exist, and, somebody in that TikTok where they were talking about it, was like, now, like, I'm inspired to make a druid now with, like, a sunflower stalk quarterstaff, and I'm like, that's actually such a goated idea. Like, this is exactly why I love druids as a class. There's so much flavor and so much fun you can have with it. Now, that isn't to say that other classes don't have that same sort of, like, creative, like, liberty to them. But, my brain, I love nature, and I think beating someone up with a sunflower is hilarious. So, yeah, that's the thing with sunflowers. I kind of wanted to, speaking of quarterstaffs, actually, I kind of want to try making my own. I have one behind me. I'd get it right now, but I think if I tried to get it, I would end up knocking a lot of things down, and that would be unfortunate, to capture on camera. But, Johnny, for one of his school projects, needed some pink flowers, because he's taking a 3D design class, but he didn't need all the flowers, you know? So I was like, oh, it's okay, I'll take the extra flowers, I bet I could do something with them. I thought it would be really cute to make a cherry blossom quarterstaff. So these are all the extra flowers he didn't use. I'm definitely gonna remove it from, like, this branch here. It's just the only thing is that I need, like, a really, really thick wooden dowel, and I'm not really sure what else, but the idea is there. I think a cherry blossom quarterstaff would be hilarious. I do like how these look. I don't think these are cherry blossoms either. I don't really remember what that flower looks like, but I don't think it was necessarily like this. But they are pretty. I do, despite how much I really am, like, a nature girly, I do like, fake flowers, because I'm terrible at remembering to water these things, and, I just like that they last pretty long. Well, forever, I guess, but, I am quite a fan of how, long-lasting they are, and how, uh, just how pretty they look in general, like... Again, if I could take better care of plants, maybe we'd have a different story going on, but, I'm stupid, and I can't. We were at Target once, actually, the three of us, and this one, they had these really, really cute potted plants, and I was like, oh, I wanna, like, buy one so bad, but I know it would, like, die in my care. And this really, really sweet employee was like, oh, it's actually got, like, a whole, like, self-watering system where you just gotta remember to refill it, so I might consider it. But the other thing, too, is that, at home, our house actually ends up being a few degrees cooler because at some point, my parents decided to block all the windows. We're not beating the vampire allegations. Now, I personally know that I have really dark curtains. Maybe it's not easy to tell because, camera lighting and everything, but, it does block out a lot of light, and I do that because there's a certain point in the day, especially in the summer, where the sun will just hover around my window and make my room unbearably warm. So, you know, the more light I block out, the better, so that way, you know, I can, like, take naps in, general comfort. However, as for the rest of the house, I forget why we did this, but, like, there's paper, like, covering a bunch of the windows that don't really have, like, we can't really put curtains on them, so we just covered it up with paper. There's at least one window that's frosted. All of the curtains are usually, like, closed. The only curtains that we open are in, like, the little living room and our backyard door. Like, our screen door, because most of the time we hang out there, so it's only fair to, like, let the light in in the spots where, like, people are generally hanging out. But, the rest of the house, completely shrouded. Again, we're not beating the vampire allegations here. I'm not gonna complain, though. It does keep the house pretty cool at the end of the day, which I appreciate a lot because I have the worst heat tolerance. And honestly, not that good cold tolerance either. I'm, like, I need to be I need to be kept at a very specific temperature. Otherwise, my brain doesn't like it. But it just so happens to be that, like, it's easier to maintain, like, the nice comfy temperatures when it's cold and not when it's blisteringly hot. I already assumed that you're a vampire at this point. I hate the heat as well as I can relate. Real. A vampire would be crazy. I still have yet to draw myself as a vampire. I think, one of the outfits that I used for D&D, I'm gonna draw myself in that, because that outfit was actually kind of fire. One of my favorite kinds of clothing to, like, wear are bodysuits. Now, they are pretty uncomfortable, but you get used to it at a certain point. I love bodysuits, because it's, like, I always wear them with pants, first of all, so it's, like, I don't have to worry about tucking in my shirt, and, like, they hug my body pretty nicely, which is nice because most of my clothes fit me pretty loosely, so it's a really nice change of pace. The one thing is that the one bodysuit that I wore that one time did not hug my chest as well as it arguably should have. So, my bra was poking out, but thankfully both the outfit and my bra were black, so I was like, okay, if I just put, like, a sort of, like, fishnet sort of veil, I forget what it's called, like a lace over it, nobody will be able to tell, and, I can live with that. I swear. I was talking to, my friend at Carl's on Saturday. Both of us were just there, like, fashion is so stupidly hard when you don't happen to fall within like average body type stuff. Because it's like for her, she has trouble, but both of us have trouble finding bras like our size, and then like some clothes just don't fit us the way that we need them to fit us, and it's frustrating. So it's like there's a reason why I choose like certain styles, and it's because they're the styles that like fit me the best. Like leather jackets with like t-shirts and chains. I don't have to worry about anything because all of that should arguably fit me pretty well. But that just means if I wanted to wear like blouses or anything, it kind of means those don't usually work out as well. Oops. So that was that whole thing. Let me just make sure this is like shaped a little bit nicer. What else has been happening so far? I'm not sure I like how that's shaped, but I can't think of another way to do this. Maybe if I just skew this a little bit more over that way. I think this just part should be a little bit thinner. You know? Make it look more like a stock and not really like a club, I guess. Alright, I think that's good. But yeah. Yeah. Today is... I am looking forward to this week being like super cold, but I'm also not looking forward to it being super cold for another work-related reason. I'm convinced that last week the store was pretty slow during the daytime because it was really hot. And this is my theory for summer coming up. I am predicting that it's gonna slow down a lot in the daytime for summer, basically. And that's because, again, the area that I live in, it's a valley, and the heat loves to like sit there and not do the thing that heat is usually supposed to do, which is rise. It only does that at night, which, you know, when everyone goes upstairs, so now the heat is like on the second floor and everyone's like, why? All of that aside though, I'm convinced that it's gonna be really slow because nobody's gonna want to leave their houses, and at night that's when it's gonna get busy. That's what I think is going to happen. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Maybe summer won't be that bad this year. And to be fair, summer wasn't actually that bad last year either. It was actually pretty nice. The only thing was that, like, at the tail end of summer, like September already, right? There was a heat wave, and that sucked. So, I remember, like, the heat wave was, like, so bad. I think there was, like, a power outage because everyone was using their ACs, and it was just like, bruh. I think the power outage also happened the same day I accidentally pulled off my toenail with the front door. God, I still remember how bad that hurt. I think my toenail is still horrendously messed up from that incident, and I'm a little scared to, check. So, I'm gonna pretend that, I don't actually have an issue with that, and we'll just see what happens. I haven't had any, like, pain or anything there, since the injury, but I do think my toenail is, like, permanently messed up there, and there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, yeah, I like that separation with the circle a lot more. And then I think what we'll do is we'll do something like this as well. I still can't see what the leaves look like. I have like the reference here. There's like little like jagginess to it. Let me draw, oops. Let me draw in the stem first. I was hoping to get to rendering a little bit sooner today. I didn't realize how long this would take. No, it's more like it comes up, actually, so it's probably better if I do something like that. And probably won't do it all around the leaf just to save time. Just like in some spots, probably. Me when I'm not entirely like accurate to real world stuff, it's okay. Oh yeah, so the Minecraft movie came out. I still have yet to watch it. I'm aware that it's not good. I'm aware that the Minecraft movie is really bad and it's just kind of there so that people can like point at the references and go like, oh, I know what that is. Because that seems to be the general consensus of what's going on with the Minecraft movie. I don't know if I actually do plan on watching it though, is the one thing. Like, it sounds like a fun time for sure, right? But I don't know, tickets are expensive and it's like, I gotta choose what I spend my money on a little wisely. Oh, and then like, I know one of my coworkers at the game store went to watch it. According to him, at the theater that he went to, there was like these kids like sitting on top of him, and when Jack Black said something about like flint and steel or whatever, kid threw his popcorn and it all landed on the chicken jockey. Oh my god. I skipped it as well. I saw people don't like it, but people are also going bananas about certain parts. So much that even Jack Black had to be like, hey, maybe don't. Oh my god. That's crazy. And hello, Goji Lion. Welcome. We're talking a little bit about the Minecraft movie. It's unfortunate. Like, you want movies to be good. Then again, I wasn't in any movie lately. Yeah, I agree. There's just doesn't seem like a lot of, like, really, like, hype things in theater lately. Oh, you've seen the movie. What do you think about it? In the meantime, I'm gonna be copying and pasting the flower because, I'm too lazy to do this again. I think we'll put, like, one, like, behind here. Alright, so that's the background for that done. I think that looks good. Only wanted to see Miku, but then I was sick. Oof. Big rip. Let's see, what's the latest movie that I saw in theaters? I think, well, what's unfortunate to me about the Minecraft movie is that you would hope that something as big as Minecraft would have, like, a really, really good movie associated with it. It's a bit of a disjointed mess, but it was kind of a fun mess. I had a good time even if the overall product wasn't as structured as it could have been. Yeah, that makes sense. How should I put this? I think the Minecraft movie is exactly what Wish from Disney wanted to be. So, hear me out, right? Wish was supposed to be like a sort of like tribute, because Disney had its however many year anniversary, I forget what. It might have been 100 years. Which is crazy to think about, but that's besides the point right now. So of course they wanted to like chock it full of like references. Like I remember there's like the character who's supposed to represent like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, and then like you had the whole Wish Upon a Star thing, and a few other things that I can't think of right now because I didn't actually go to see the movie. But you know, it's definitely like so full of like old time Disney references to the point where I think the producers were sitting there. Where I think the producers were sitting there and they were hoping like the audience would be pointing like, oh, I know who these characters are. I know who these characters are supposed to represent. Now, Wish wasn't a good movie, and people definitely were not doing that. And the Minecraft movie, probably not a good movie either, but you know what? At least people were pointing at the screen and going like, oh, I know what that is, and at least people were having a good time. So I can't be too mad about that. You know, would have made Wish better. Stick to what they had originally planned. Wasn't it like what's his name? Magnifico. Wasn't it like he and his wife were supposed to be like an evil power duo couple? Because that I agree, that would have been sick. I would have loved to see some of that. But I think what I probably would have liked even more is if they actually went like a more mature route, and I don't think they should have had like an antagonist necessarily. I think it would have been really like I know people are like kind of sick of like Disney not having like real villains lately, but I think Wish is like the one movie where they maybe just shouldn't have had like a hard villain. I think it would have been like way more mature and a better lesson for kids if what's her name, Asha? If Asha just like learned like, hey, maybe granting everybody's wishes isn't like a good thing. I think that would have been significantly more like, you know, palatable. And then I think there was also like they wanted to make the little star guy a prince, and I absolutely would have loved that because we haven't had a lot of like Disney princes in a while. I think I haven't seen a lot of Disney lately. I might just be running my mouth. The original Wish would have made Star a more youthful version of the genie, but also the love interest for Asha. See, I like that. I like that. That was, there's like so many animatics, and I'm like, I'm all for it, because it's, I think it's a cute pairing. I don't know why they didn't do that. Especially because it's like, how long have the fans been like cheering for like a gay princess lately? This was the one time where Disney probably had an excuse not to make a gay princess, and they did that instead. Not saying that they shouldn't make a gay princess, I still think they absolutely should, but point being, they had an out here that people actually would have like loved to see, but what do I know? I think, yeah, no, I haven't seen a lot of Disney lately. I love like the old 2D Disney. I want to go back to like 2D stuff. I understand that 3D is cheaper, so it allows like the corporations to make like a shit ton of like movies within the span of like, you know, like it's like a whole like one movie a year kind of thing. But I love 2D animation. There's just like, there's a certain feel that 3D will never be able to capture. Now, the blend of 3D and 2D, that's always cool to see, but like raw 2D, there is a reason why I love like the older Disney movies. I'm gonna fix this lip here. Hang on. Another idea for an improvement would have made Magnifico a much more complex protagonist and make his wife, the queen, the villain. Like the real reason why she fell in love with him would have been more wanting to have power for herself. That would have been cool. That would have been wonderful to see. I don't think we've had a lot of villainesses either in Disney. Again, I wish I could speak a little bit more expertly on the subject, but all of my expertise comes from listening to commentary videos, because it was really funny watching people dog on this movie. Fix that lip there real quick. If there's any movie that I really enjoyed seeing in theaters, it was the D&D movie, and I promise it's not just because it was Dungeons and Dragons, it's because that was a really good movie. Like, I love Honor Among Thieves. Plus, we've been coming in full circle with that. The OG Snow White had an evil queen for a villain, making the queen from Wish evil. Yeah, that would have been like a good throwback. The D&D movie was loads of fun. Dude, I think that was the only movie where, like, everyone in the theater was genuinely having a good time. Like, we were all laughing at the jokes. It was just, it was a theater full of nerds and people who really understood the game. It was great. When me and my cousins went, we went in, like, the best cosplay that we could. So I have, like, these ear cuffs. Not the elf ear cuffs that I usually wear. It was, like, these different metal ones. By the way, metal ear cuffs, if you don't know, hurt a lot after a while. Like, the ear was not built to sustain the likes of, that much metal. Unless you wear it, like, regularly, but, like, I'm not doing that. That was painful. So I had, like, a sort of, like, dark elf kind of look going for me. I had, like, a little cat, I had, like, a little cat plushie to pretend, like, oh, I'm a witch with, like, my cat. I feel like it was good for people unaware of the game as well. Yeah, I had a good time despite not being 100% versed in D&D lore. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's just a really good movie. It's criminal that, it was technically a flop, because that has to be, like, one of the best movies of, like, recent times, in my opinion. So it's unfortunate that happened. I really, really want them to, like, make more, because I think it'd be fun. But yeah. Aside from, like, movie talk and everything, I need to ask you guys a very, very important question right now, because I just remembered this was something that I wanted to talk about on stream, because I think it's absolutely batshit crazy. That sucked it happened, yeah. It is unfortunate that the D&D movie technically flopped for how good it was. But has anyone seen the podcast clip going around where the guy is, like, so convinced that the airport body scans turn you gay? Like, he's so, like, he's like harping on the fact, like, oh, if you walk through them, you're gonna get shot with the gay beam. And I'm like, what kind of conspiracy is happening here? If we haven't seen it yet, I will gladly pull it up. It's stupid. You're telling me they don't? I know, right? me walking through the airport body scan. Oh god, I've not seen that, and I'm thankful I did not. I haven't seen it. Okay. I feel like I should just pull up a little bit. There was no such thing during Lord Byron's time. I feel like I should just pull up the clip. Just a short... maybe not. I kind of don't want to interrupt the music. It's a really good vibe right now. Yeah, maybe not. Point being, it's the guys on a podcast saying, like I would never walk through those beams because because I don't want to get turned gay. Like, I would rather get molested by airport security rather than get shot with the gay beams. I don't... Where do I begin with this? So, like... So he's like... This is, like, big... Tell me you're closeted without telling me you're closeted hours. Because it's beautiful, because he's like, now, see, getting pat down by a guy might seem worse, right? That might seem gayer. But we don't know what those body scans are doing to us. And I'm like, just tell me, you can come out of the closet, sir. Like, this is a safe space. And that's, like, what the whole internet is saying right now. Because, like, okay, sure, if you firmly believe that somehow walking through the body scan at the airport is gonna somehow make you gay, then enlighten me on how getting pat down by a guy... explain to me how that makes it any better, please. Because, like, it just... Just say you want to be touched by a man. Just say it. They're shooting kilograms of estrogen into the body via body scan. Yeah. I'll tell you, like, the last time I went to airport security, I walked through one of those body scanners and, like, made eye contact with one of the lady security guards, and my word, that was kind of... This is a new level of dumb. You know what? Let me just say this. I hope that this guy takes it as a lesson, right? That there are people who are willing to welcome him into the world for being whoever he truly is deep down inside. There will be people that who will reject him, and he should reject those people too, because the LGBT, so long as he becomes the ally he was always destined to be, and we will welcome him. We like, you are allowed to be gay, sir. Full disclosure, I'm Christian, but I think these kinds of theories are beyond dumb. Yeah, that's completely fine. No, there's like plenty of like Christian people, I think, who are like actual like allies and recognize that this is some ridiculous level of lunacy going on. So it's like, I definitely don't mind. I do have one friend though. I don't blame her necessarily, because she does have a lot of like religious trauma from people who do try to twist the Bible for their own gain or for control over others and stuff like that. It's like I get it, but she has like this view that like all religion is evil, and I'm like, maybe we watch how we word certain things, because this is kind of how genocide happens, I'm not gonna lie. At Hobby Lobby, they don't use scanners because either they and or their customer base believes it will steal your soul. That is crazy. Must be a similar vibe to the airport guy. I understand being like a little like wary about like what would the scanners be? Infrared. I don't think it's necessarily radiation, but like it is like, it's good to be like aware of these things. Like, you know, like don't point it at your eyes like me. I point the QR code scanner at my eyes sometimes if I'm bored at work, but don't do that don't do that at home. But like, yeah, I understand being like aware that these things are shooting out like stuff that, you know, might have like harmful effect if you have like long-term exposure, but that's long-term exposure, you know? I'm sure if I stood under like a body scan machine for long enough, I'll probably walk out with some form of cancer. But again, it's like it's just fear-mongering with like technology and stuff, and it's existed for like a long time, I think. A lot of times people do fear like really new technology, and sometimes it's warranted and sometimes it's not. It's like with video games, right? People just don't understand it and they think it's gonna cause this, when in reality, no, it kind of doesn't. Minor tangent: Christians and other people of beliefs should use their faith to help people, not judge/condemn. Tangent over. Oh, no, I absolutely agree. Again, I have no problem with people who want to be religious. I think religion, especially Christianity, Catholicism, because I did technically have catechism when I was younger, but I slept through like most of the classes. I'm sorry, I'm not a good example. But no, like the Ten Commandments, like when you look at them, from what I remember at least, they're really good like principles to live by. Like, love thy neighbor, don't cheat on your spouse, I think was the other one. I only remember 2 of them. But like they're good. Like they're good enough morals. Thou shalt not lie is another one. See, well, you can lie in like specific circumstances, but that's generally a good one. I think honesty is like an incredibly valuable trait to have. Like if you're just a really like honest person. Now, of course, honesty does you can't just be blunt about the truth all the time. There is like a little bit of like tact and decorum that you have to have with it. But honesty is, again, I think the 10 Commandments are like really good basic morals to live by. So here's what I was telling my friend, because she was like, I think religion is the root of all evil, and I very strongly beg to differ, because in my opinion, people are the root of all evil. And I don't mean this in like an edgy, like, oh, like, yeah, people are just naturally evil. It's just like, no, people are not naturally evil. Every person is different. And all of that comes down to a lot of circumstances. I'm never saying that those circumstances are excuses. But I am saying that they're reasons, and of because of the nature of religion and the nature of like people who want to like twist it into their own thing, it's for like their own personal gain or whatever. My whole point is that the religion itself is not necessarily evil. It is the people who want to use it to control others, to establish like power, to put others down, stuff like that. That is evil. And to that I say we should hold those people accountable because they are not representative of the faith as a whole. Like like in my opinion, nothing in the world, like well, some concepts are just inherently evil, but a lot of the world isn't evil. It's like people who choose to do evil things. That is evil. And that is where I rested my case. She did not agree. That being said, I can't blame her for not agreeing to, because she does have a lot of trauma with it. But, I think, like, given, like, time and, like, like, maturing a little bit more, you do tend to realize that, like, we should be holding people accountable, not, like, entire groups of people. Religion and faith as a concept in general is great. It is just what you do with that faith, and if you use it as an excuse to do harm is where it becomes problematic. I agree. I saw a video today, like, talking about this subject, too. And I agree. A lot of people who are, like, really bad in history, have committed, like, the atrocities, have committed atrocities out of religious reasons. I think it's... And... I agreed with it for the most part, but again, the only part where I disagree is that religion is not evil. It is what people do with said religion that is evil. Because, again, if... it comes down to, like, logical arguments, too. The concept of all is an incredibly weak argument, because all it takes is just one thing to not fit into, an entirety to completely dismantle the argument itself. So that's where I stand on it. So that's why I don't mind if people are religious. But me personally, again, not super huge on it. It's fun mythos and lore. I will say that. When you actually like dig into stuff like the different types of angels, for example, or like the circles of hell. It's like really cool mythology at the end of the day. And the same can be said for a lot of other religions, which I think is really fun. I think mythology is an incredibly fun thing to look at because there's just all kinds of like storytelling elements that just come into play, and it's really cool, and the imagery is exciting. So I love it for that reason. I can't remember which verse this was, but the power of what you do is all in your tongue. Yeah, that is a great way to put it. Man. Again, I don't necessarily align with a religion, but I'm not gonna say that I'm an atheist either. I don't think that's entirely fair. How should I put it? I don't really... Oh, hello, Big Cheese. We're in the middle of a very silly, pretty lighthearted religious talk right now. I don't necessarily believe in, like, one true god or deity or anything, but I do believe in the raw, spiritual awe of the world. Like, maybe I don't know for sure if there was, like, an all-powerful being that created the world. But the fact that the world itself exists, I think, is, like, a powerful enough concept to demand, the world itself can demand respect just by existing. Like, one of the things that... Oop! How did that happen? One of the things that I think, for me personally, let's say you go hiking and you go a little bit off a trail. You might, like, cut down some plants to, like, get through the brush and everything. I don't believe in that. Not because I think that, not because I think plants have feelings, not necessarily because I think, it's like it's not necessarily like a protect nature thing either. For me, it's like well, these beings, these plants, this world has been here longer than us. Like, who are we to say that we can just cut things down and do whatever we want with the land? Like, the land itself deserves to be respected and honored, and I don't necessarily like the idea of just moving things and cutting things down because we need the land to serve us. We should serve the land as much as it serves us. That's where I come from. Do I necessarily believe in spirits? Do I necessarily believe in things like that? Only sort of. Only sort of. Like I said, the sheer scale of the world and the fact that it exists in the first place, I think, is enough to just like to go off of. Like, it is a very, very powerful thing that exists on its own. It's another reason why I'm not a huge fan of like killing animals either. A lot of animals have also been around longer than humans, so it's like, what right do I have to say that this spider in my house should be smushed because I'm scared of it? Like, yeah, I'm scared of it, but I also don't really, like, want to condemn it to death either. I'm fine leaving spiders inside my house, inside the house, actually, so long as they stick to their web. And, you know, most of the time they do. There was I don't think it was a daddy long legs, but it was a very long-legged, slender, like spindly spider, and definitely unnerved by it because, again, I have the worst arachnophobia in the world sometimes, but I've gotten a lot better at it, and I am okay existing around spiders. And the same with bugs too. Like, yeah, I might be a little frightened of it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Animals are cool. They can live in my house. My mom will probably kill them, but I can't stop her. I have arachnophobia too. So real. Hello, fellow arachnophobe. I will say I've gotten significantly better with my fear of spiders. Really tiny itty bitty ones. They used to like startle me a lot more. Now it's just like, oh, look at this little goober. But like, arachnophobia gang here. Spiders are just... You know what's the crazy thing about arachnophobia? Arachnophobia goes like this for me. It's never that I'm scared that the spider is going to bite me. Or like, touch me. I'm scared that it's gonna move. Which is... I don't know how to describe it anymore. It's why I can't watch movies like Tarantula, The Earth vs. the Spider, or even Arachnophobia, the movie itself. I have never heard of those movies, and my morbid curiosity is getting to me, and I know I shouldn't look it up on stream, otherwise I'm gonna cry. Tarantula, that is a crazy movie title. I'm gonna say that right now, though. I don't like how fast spiders can move. And it's always a fear in the back of my mind that the spider is gonna move, like, really fast, and I think what it is, for me specifically, is that they look like hands. That one's a 50s giant monster movie. Man, I really want to look it up now. I know I shouldn't. The moving is the worst. They look, okay, because to me, I think what it is that they look like dismembered hands. And because they look like hands, like, you know what hands do? They grab, right? So it's like, if the spider is like moving really fast, like I think in my head it's like, oh my god, what if it's like moving really fast and then it grabs me, right? Like with its weird spider body. And I'm like, I think that's what it is. I don't like that they move. I think that's what it is for me. If the spider is chill, I'm chill, but if it's going to attack me, I'll be scared. Oh, they don't usually attack. It is true that spiders are just as terrified of us as we are of them. So I try to keep that in mind. You know, if I see a spider at work, I'm not gonna... I'll freak out a little bit, but you know what? The spider's also freaking out too, so it's a mutual freaking out, which I appreciate. Probably more than the spider, but... Yeah, one time at work, actually, I was changing the trash cans. Typically I try to be the one to change the trash cans, because I am one of the only employees at the store who actually ties the bags down. This one time, the bag was not tied down, and it had fallen in to the can, which is not good, because now it means, I have to, like, reach in there, sort the trash and everything, yada yada yada. One of the ways that you can get the trash back into the bag is you put the bag over the lip of the can, you tilt it. When I grabbed the bottom of the trash can, I felt the web, or the leg of the spider, instantly recoiled my hand, and I was like freaking out. I don't know the types of spiders in the States, I just know there are venomous ones, the venomous ones I'm scared of. Yeah, that's valid. That's also very valid. I don't know. We have the wolf spider. We have the black widow. I think we have one more. Oh shoot, look at that. Look at the bots. Automat, I think, is doing a good job at, like, keeping them from actually entering the chat. Like, it restricts them, but I can still see it. So I'm just gonna ban it. But yeah. Funny thing, though, about the black widows. My dad tends to find a lot of them in the garage. And, one thing that he took to doing, like, a few years ago was, trapping them and then kind of taking care of them. He would, like, catch flies and then, like, leave them in the little bottles he was keeping them in. Like as pets. It was just like, Dad, what are you doing? Now, the thing is that I think having a pet spider would be, like, super cool. I would love a pet jumping spider. I think jumping spiders are incredibly cute. They're maybe one of the only spiders I'm not absolutely terrified of. And that's because they're super intelligent and they have really good eyesight, so they can recognize you. They're like little 8-legged puppies. We'll put it that way. So I'm actually not terrified of jumping spiders and would love to have that one as a pet. But back to what I was saying. My dad would keep the black widows as, like, pets outside. And at a certain point, I was, like, pretty used to seeing them. But the thing is that winters do get pretty cold down here in Southern California. And spiders do not like the cold. They actually do pretty bad in the cold. If I had to guess, it's probably because the way that they move their body around is via hydraulics. So they kind of, like, push fluid through their limbs to move. I'm really beat, so I'm calling it a day. Thank you for stream. Have fun with the 8-legged puppies and stuff. Oh, thank you, Kira. I'm glad you support me in my, my want for a pet jumping spider. I think I would have a lot of fun with that. But anyways, winter was coming around, like, it's fall already. And, I'm like, Dad, if you want to keep these black widows, he had, like, 2 of them. If you want to keep them, you gotta move them inside, because they are going to die out here. There's, like, no insulation in the things, and it's going to be really cold. And he's like, yeah, but your mom's not gonna like it. I'm like, then why did you keep them? Yeah, they ended up dying. I feel a little bad. But, it is kind of crazy that there was, like, a period of time where my dad was like, oh, I'm gonna keep black widows as pets. Wild stuff. Yeah, I love jumping spiders, though. They're very cute. They're very curious little goobers, too. I love that, like, again, they have, like, super good eyesight. So, I think, again, they're one of the only spiders I'm not scared of, because I think they have a good, like, they have really good eyesight, and they're smart enough to recognize their owners. I've seen so many videos of like they'll hold out their hand and the spider with like its little like, I want to say it's the pedipalps, but I'm not sure. They'll like grab it and they'll go onto the thing, and then like after they realize it's like a human hand, they like kind of like sit down, like they enjoy how like warm our body is. Like, it's so cute. It's so cute. I would love a jumping spider. One of the only things keeping me from getting a jumping spider is, once again, crippling arachnophobia and the fact that we have dogs. I am aware that jumping spiders need a lot of like space to crawl around, and I would be terrified that Butters or Jimmy would step on my jumping spider, so I can't do that. Or Lucas the spider. I love Lucas the spider. He's so friend-shaped. Like, single-handedly, probably cured arachnophobia for, like, a lot of people out there. He's great. I love that. Can't say I watched a lot of shorts from him, but, regardless, I still enjoy the design a lot. You know what's a really good you know what's a really good jumping spider? Peacock spiders. They're so... Oh my god, I love peacock spiders. Lucas the spider's very cute, the only spider I accept, fair enough. Look up a peacock spider, though. I'm about to change your mind. I won't put it on stream, because I get it. Peacock spider. But they're so cute! Oh my god, I love them so much. Their little dance. Their little wave. Oh. Oh my god, I love these things. Like, say what you want about, like, being scared of spiders and everything. As if you showed me this, I would be so happy. I would dance with him. Again, I'm not gonna show it on stream, because I know for some people, it's like spider eyes that they're scared of. To an extent, I am too, but these things are like so cute, like, give it a pass. Ah, I love them. They're adorable. And then now, if you want like a really, really scary, the color scheme, yeah, they're very pretty. Now, if you want like a really, really terrifying looking spider, and I don't just mean tarantulas, because I get it, tarantulas kind of look like the unholy offspring of a coconut crab, and... well, they kind of look like hairy coconut crabs, we'll put it that way. But if you really, really want like a terrifying spider, in my opinion, that's gonna be the ogre spider. Again, I'm not gonna show that one on stream, and I'm not gonna look it up. Well, maybe I'll look it up. If you've never heard of ogre spiders before, I don't blame you. But they are by far one of the most not spider-looking spiders. I think, I know about. Another one is like the tailless whip scorpion. I can't remember if that one's a spider or not, but that is another like arachnid that's kind of like freaky. Ogre spiders. Good lord. Yeah, if you're absolutely terrified of like spider eyes, do not look. Oh my god, did you look them up? Ew, they look like a weird Call of Cthulhu monster. I find them cool. They are cool. They're definitely cool. They have a really, really interesting way of hunting. So what they do is that rather than like spin a web and wait for like something to fly into the web or get caught in the web, they hang from a web and they have a net. Like, they have a net that they hold, and when something walks under them, they spring down and like catch it with their net. It's so funny. Again, I'm not gonna show it on stream because I get it. Oh, there's one that looks like it's frowning. My word. It's so funny. And then there is another spider, like an orb weaver. They use their web like a lasso, which is so funny to me. Oh, like, oh my god, I'm so terrified of spiders, but they're so funny. good lord, but the ogre spiders just look so angry. I know they have really good eyesight. Their eyesight is probably better than a jumping spider's, but I'm gonna stop looking at this. Oh, baby? No, not really. Oh my god, this one's like... This one's like... You know how when you, like, take a picture with, like, the flash of, like, your animal, and then, like, the eyes just kind of, like, they flash light back? That's because animals have a reflective retina in the back of their eyes. Humans don't, but because of that reflective retina, animals typically have an easier time seeing in the dark than humans. I don't know if ogre spiders have reflective retinas, but this one sure does look like it. Its eyes are so blue. Good, I need to stop looking at these, but they're so funny. Yeah, okay, I need to stop looking. There was like a really, really like, image of like a wolf spider. Let's see. I love the way spiders hunt. Jumping spiders are absolutely hunters. They will pounce on things much bigger than themselves, and they will just like... It really is like a dog or a cat. Like, they really do hunt like that. And then, ogre spiders, again, they have like that whole thing where they have a net. Some orb weavers have their web lasso, and then there's also just like spiders in general who like, you know, it's just like the standard like spin a web, my home is also my bear trap kind of thing. And then what else is there? What other methods of hunting? Tarantulas don't do that, but they do... They're kind of like ambush hunters. Or no, no, it's more opportunistic. Like, if something like walks within the vicinity of a tarantula, it will like, not necessarily pounce, but it will attack. Years ago, my aunt had an unexpected encounter with a wolf spider. She tried that's a shooing, not shooting. She tried shooing it away, and this happened. This happened when she was on the phone with my mom. Oh god. I hope she didn't, like, squish it. Because, again, wolf spiders do carry their young, and if you do squish the wolf spider, all the young disperse. I don't know how you properly dispose of a wolf spider. Not that I would want to. But if you know, were really hell-bent on killing it, I don't really know what you would do. Maybe fire. Like, not to make the whole, kill it with fire joke, but I think if you were trying to kill a wolf spider without all the young dispersing, fire might be the way that might unironically be the way to go. She was using a broom to get it out. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, that's good. That's good that she was only trying to like usher it out of the house. Oh my god, do you guys know about trapdoor spiders? I love them. They're so silly. Also, let me save real quick. I love trapdoor spiders. Now, arachnophobia warning, but this one's a fake spider. I promise. One time, Clive had a project for school, and, at some point, he forgot the due date was the next day, and he was like, Kyra, can you help me make a spider for my project? And I was like, god fucking damn it, Clive. So, arachnophobia warning in, side note, my drawing looks nice. Thank you so much. Arachnophobia warning in 3, 2, 1. I made this little goober. He's made out of felt, these big sort of like pipe cleaner looking things, and I used beads for the eyes, and then I used something else for the fangs. I'm not really sure what they are. I don't know if you can see it very well, but this is my little plush trapdoor spider. I demanded that he be returned to me because I worked very hard on him. He's very cute, and I love him very much. I think I did a great job on this. But yeah, he's adorable. I love him so much. He just sits right here on my desk. You did a good job with it. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, I love my little trapdoor spider. I think he's very goober shaped. Yeah, he sits there like underneath my monitor to the left here. Um, yeah, and his teacher was like, "You didn't make this," and he's like, "No, I didn't make this. You did a good job with your drawing too so far. Those flowers in the background are so good as well. Thank you." Yeah, it's amazing what I can do when I actually look up reference for something. I'm like really bad with like looking up reference sometimes. Um, I'm not proud of being an artist who can draw without reference. I just I just struggle with finding it on Google because it's really difficult to find sometimes. Like you'll be looking for like a very specific pose, but like the pose is so specific, and you don't know what words to put into the search bar to get what you're looking for. So you just end up having to like figure it out yourself. Um, which arguably a good skill, but it's not something that I recommend for any artist out there. Like, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it, but like, if you can look up reference, do please look up the reference. I was actually gonna make these earrings rose gold initially, because I really love rose gold as a color. Like, it is actually so fine. It is a damn good color, but when I put down the rest of the color palette, it just didn't look that good. It was actually kind of hard choosing a color palette for this, because I wanted her... Obviously, I want her to look very warm. This is a summer eladrin, right? But I think red would have just been a little bit too much, and I like the contrast with the blue and the green, and then using a brown as sort of like a neutral in-between. Again, I don't know much about color theory, but every character design, to an extent, I'm not saying that this is a hard rule, this is a very general rule about character design and stuff, but generally, you want like a proper balance between warm and cool. Obviously, you're gonna have characters that skew more one way than the other. Like, obviously, for a summer eladrin, she should primarily have very warm tones, but that isn't to say that you can't have like these really nice shades of like blue to contrast the yellow, or like the spring eladrin here too. Very, very like cool design overall, because like the green that I used was a lot closer to blue than it was yellow, I think. And of course we have like the purple here, but we also have like the red leggings, which, and like the gold eyes, the golden jewelry, that helps a lot just for contrast. It's not necessarily a contrast thing, it's a balance thing. Now, it's not always easy to achieve that kind of balance with certain colors. Aerie, for example, she has like dark, like a sort of like darkish red kind of skin, right? And she's a druid, so it's not necessarily easy to get all the colors that I want in there, but it is easy to how should I put this? She uses a lot of neutral tones because her skin is already like a very like strong saturated color. Like, it's very like it's a very, very bold color, right? Red. Now the thing with red is that I can't pair it. Now the thing with the red is that I can't really pair it with blue because she is a land druid, so arguably I should be using something like green, but if I use green, it's gonna look more Christmassy. So rather than use green, I'll throw in like some bronze kind of like colors in there, like brown, bronze, for like some like little details, like the little like leaf design on her sleeves, or like brown horns, brown boots, stuff like that. But that's and then just as like neutral stuff to like tie it all together a little bit more, she has like a black leather shirt, gray pants, and silver earrings, right? The way that I add a little bit more balance to that with like cooler tones is that I gave her purple eyes and an amethyst necklace. Just very, very subtle things so that the red one continues to like dominate like the general feel of the character, but it doesn't feel like it's missing something. And I believe that's what it is. Again, I'm self-taught, so I feel like a lot of the stuff that I'm saying doesn't really... It's not necessarily that it's not making sense, it's that I don't know the proper way to put it down so that I can explain these principles in a way that will probably make more sense. That's what it is for me. But yeah, Aries design. And the same thing goes with Lilac too. She's a drow with like this sort of like with this purple skin, silver hair and everything, but she's a spore druid. So I can because of like that undead sort of element to it, I can absolutely add like more like cool unnatural tones to her without like throwing everything off. But the way that again that I balance it is like rather than giving her like silver eyes that like some drow can have, rather than like lean too much into the cool side of the spectrum, I can make her eyes red for just enough balance for everything else, and it works out. And of course there's like some characters where you can get away with like having like a pure warm sort of feel to them. Kina, for example, my Phoenix sorcerer, her whole thing is fire, so obviously doesn't entirely make the most sense to put a lot of like blue in there, right? But what I can add is what I can give her is like green eyes, or Ada, for example. I have a water genasi character. I don't know if I've ever shown her that much, but you know, water genasi, there's going to be a lot of blues in there, and the way that I balance out those blues is that she has like these sort of like dark red highlights in her clothes, like these dark red details in there. Because that's all character design is. It's recognizing like or at least for me, it's like creating palettes like that is just kind of like, okay, well, there's got to be like some sort of balance between warm tones and cool tones. Let me see if I can pull up another example here. Let me see. We'll do Ellie. Like, let me just turn off all the lighting effects real quick, so we can like just see the raw palette. So obviously, she's a pink character. She has a lot of she has a lot of warm tones about her too, but she has a lot of like more cool ones. I see, balancing as best as you can given the concept. Yeah, that's exactly like what it is. So here, in my opinion, the boots are a very neutral color. The brown here on the shirt, the undershirt, the blouse is a very neutral color. Like I use the browns as neutrals. I use this sort of like purple-ish, like the garters, the belts, and everything to add some coolness to the palette. The silver hair as well, and then the rest of the character is allowed to be as pink and red as I want it to be. So that's how that works. But sometimes you don't need, but sometimes you don't have to exaggerate it as much as that. If I go ahead and open another canvas here, another project, let's see. Yeah, we'll do Charlie, actually. Because I think this is another good example. Charlie is the opposite of Ellie, in a sense. She's got a very she's got a very cool palette, sorry. She's palette for the most part. She has like the sort of desaturated dark green hair. She has these striking blue eyes. She's got like a deep purple for her outfit, gray pants. I know she has brown boots. She has brown lipstick. A lot of stuff that leans a little bit more towards the cool end of the spectrum, where I find the color balancing, however, is in the gold jewelry and her overall complexion as well. So, like, despite her being a vampire, I didn't want to make her, like, so, like, unbelievably pale, because, real quick, if you go ahead and try that, Actually, let me do it like this. If we go ahead and try that, we'll skew it like all the way up there, just for like extremeness' sake. You can see like it throws it off quite a bit. So there's, you know, all it is just like finding colors that work. For me, I know it very intuitively, and I can try to explain it, but it's always better if I just like do it and not think too terribly hard, like about like, oh, well, if I use this color, then I should use this color too. No, like it's a little bit deeper than that. Again, it would help if I had taken an art class and explained these things. Part of me is considering, like, maybe I want to go to college again and actually get an art degree. The only thing that's keeping me from that, really, is, this. I don't really feel like I want to write essays or do, math anymore. I feel like because I have, like, my computer science degree already, I should be able to, like, avoid a lot of, like, the extra, like, GEs that I would need to take. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how well that would actually translate, because there is, like, a math for, like, the arts and everything for some reason. Thank you for the explanation, then I understood what you meant. Thank you. I'm glad I could, clear that up a bit on color palettes and stuff. But, yeah, what's stopping me specifically from, college and, like, besides the whole, like, cost thing, right? Because, you know, I would probably just, like, do a community college, get an associate's or something. I just don't want to do schoolwork again. If I could go to school and the only thing that I'm doing at school is art, I would be happy, right? Now, if I had to go to a classroom again and they were like, okay, you're gonna have 20 math problems to do tonight, and you have an essay due here, and then we also have, like, science lab, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that again. I've already done it, like, once. So Johnny suggested maybe instead of a degree, I can get, like, an artist license, I think. But I have to look more into that. Because I don't actually know, if I can do that. But I assume that I can because he suggested it, but, you know, that's, like, my whole thing. Let me also make sure that I loop this. So that way we don't have to worry about, choosing another thing when all of that is over. So, I think an artist's license, would be a pretty good career, route for me. Especially because I do want to take this seriously. Like, I do want this nonsense that I'm doing right now to become a career. I'm just not expecting it to happen. My expectations are set low because as I explained to my friend, I would rather be correct than disappointed. At least I'll get some satisfaction out of that. I don't know. I feel like some people would say, like, oh, that's just you being, like, pessimistic. You can absolutely believe in yourself. It's like, I'm not saying that I don't believe in myself, but I am saying that, like, it's not likely. Didn't know that was a thing, honestly. I didn't know it was a thing either until Johnny, like, talked about it. Because according to him, my parents wouldn't mind if I wanted to go back to school for art. They're just upset that I'm not using my computer science degree. And you know what? To their credit, I'm upset that I'm not using it either. I could be out of Carl's by now, you know? I could, like, not do the whole fast food thing. But, like, just don't want to do computer science. I feel like, I feel like, especially to, like, as an artist, I am utterly embarrassed, to have my comp sci degree, because of the whole, like, rise of, like, AI and stuff. Like, it's so embarrassing to be a tech bro right now, and I don't want to associate any part of myself with that, with that group, because, again, yeah, it's embarrassing. Imagine! Oh my god, there was a thing that I saw. I didn't watch the whole commentary, thing on it, but there, you know the whole Studio Ghibli AI art trend? Where it's like, oh, you can turn yourself into a Studio Ghibli character with this AI filter, yada yada yada. or not AI filter, just like AI thing. It's so sad because first of all, the artist behind Studio Ghibli's like typical art style, he seems absolutely crushed by it, and I feel so bad for him because this is just, it's just stupid, you know. Like that's his work that's getting like, not necessarily like defaced, but like it's his work that's being like stolen and copied and generated and trained off of. It's so sad. But we all agree like that is bad, right? That just I want to. I can't put myself in this mindset because there was this one person amidst this trend, an actual artist who drew herself in the Studio Ghibli art style, and it was really good. It was really accurate. It looked pretty damn close to the actual thing. And this insufferable asshat just said, like, why did you even bother, essentially said this, why did you even bother drawing this when AI could have done it more accurately? Here, I put your image through an AI and made it better. Like, oh my god. Imagine having the mindset that you don't want a human doing things for you anymore, that you don't want people, real people, creating art. Imagine having the mindset that you would rather have a robot do it. Oh my god. People doing this is gonna make Miyazaki find new ways to hate people. That's true. I mean, there's just plenty of reasons to hate people. This absolutely being like one of the top reasons. But just like the trend was already like bad enough, like, and damaging, right? But just imagine being the lunatic to think like to look at somebody's art they worked hard on and go, let me fix that using an AI for you because you weren't 100% accurate. Already do, mood. Well, more so than usual in his case, yeah. Like, what kind of mindset do you need to have to hate human creators? Like, are you just jealous? Are you just, oops. Like, are you just, like, that much of a corporate bootlicker? Like, I don't get it. I can't imagine, like, getting it, too. Or I can't imagine putting myself in that mind space. So it's like, this is, like... And it's always, like, these tech bros and everything who don't understand, like, the actual craft and dedication and patience that goes into, like, what we do as artists. And so it's like, so it's like, I have my degree, but the last thing I kind of want right now is to be associated with these nutcases. Like, I feel so bad. Because there's, like, complete insanity. Again, I don't understand how you could possibly get to a point where you would want your art, like, your culture, to be generated by AI. Because art is a cultural thing, right? Imagine just... Huh. It's really bizarre that Shadversity has partaken in the Studio Ghibli AI craze. Oh, shoot. I recognize the name. Is that one of, like, the sword YouTubers? Like, or not necessarily sword YouTubers. The, like, the medieval armor guy thing. Let me look him up on YouTube real quick. I recognize it. I think I know, like, the general, like, genre of what's going on here. Yeah, this is the sword guy. This is the sword and armor guy, huh? Okay, well, it seems like it's mostly swords. Look, I can't blame people for wanting to partake in the trend, right? It was on Twitter? Okay, well, it's... I don't know this guy's background, so I don't know why, outside of the normal reason of, like, you know, AI bad, you don't need to go find it. Okay, I don't blame people for wanting to participate in the trend, right? Um, you know, it's a trend. People aren't gonna, a lot of the times people don't know better, and that's just what trends do. Like, it makes people want to hop on the bandwagon and do this thing regardless of, like, the morality of it all, right? Like, why else do we have so many, like, IRL streamers pulling pranks on people? Like, that's just the trend. That's just what's trending. That's just what gets people, like, talking. That's what gets people likes. Yada yada yada, right? So I'm not upset at people for doing the trend necessarily, right? I'm just upset that it got this out of hand in the first place. The worst one I saw was someone prompted an AI hater as pregnant in the Ghibli style and went, "Don't mess with me." Oh my god. Yikes. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's... Ugh. But yeah, I hate AI art. If there was any, like, bright side to AI, it was this very specific instance. One of Johnny's professors in RCC was reached out to by, like, a company or something, and they wanted their AI to train off of his art so people could pay to use that AI, and all of that money would essentially go to him, right? We real artists ought to support one another. Absolutely. 100%. But anyways, this is a really funny story. Now, I'm not saying that this professor is for AI, but I think the way that he used it here was really funny. So this model, all of it is, like, trained off of his art, right? So it doesn't steal from other artists. It only, like, takes from his work. Already a pretty good, like, step in the right direction, right? When it comes to, like, AI, right? Like, the technology is here. If there was ever to be regulations, I think it absolutely should be this. It should be gate-kept by the artist, and if people want to use it, they gotta pay to use that AI. I think that's a great model, since we're going in this direction anyways, and I think it's a little too late to stop it. So people pay to use the thing to generate the images, and he gets, like, you know, he earns that money. The other thing that they can do is that they can pay him to correct the AI-generated images. And when all of that was said and done, it was the funniest thing. Because according to him, if they had just regularly commissioned him, right, it would have been so much cheaper. Instead, these people are paying more to get the images generated and then fixed. So they spent, like, a good chunk of the class period roasting the shit out of the AI-generated images, which I think is incredibly based. Now, I'm not saying that I'm for AI still, like, I still absolutely hate it, but the ball is rolling. It's a little bit too late to stop it, and if there was any kinds of, like, regulations that I think that should be put on AI without outright killing it, it is that. It is artists should be gatekeeping it, because nobody else should be allowed to use our copyright, essentially. All of that being said, though, I still think AI 100% deserves to die. Fuck AI, like, genuinely. But yeah. Honestly, incredibly funny to see. It's just... what gets me is that they could have paid less money to just commission him the normal way. Instead, they end up paying more to use the AI and then get the images fixed. Which is just so funny. AI is for talentless hacks. Absolutely. Like, AI, like, if you... He doesn't use the... Like, that professor, I don't think he doesn't use the AI necessarily. It's other people who, like, use it and they pay him to fix it. So, he's not necessarily the one using it. But again, it's still incredibly funny. Like, the way all of that plays out. And I know Johnny said that it made him feel better, because it's like, well, if there's, like, stuff like this, then there's still hope for artists in the future. Me personally, I think it'd be a fun experiment just to see like what an AI would do to my images, but I would never like fully rely on it. Like a big part of it, besides just like, you know, the art theft and the environmental damage, because yeah, a big part of it is that the process is something that I very strongly enjoy. Like this whole like tedious work that, you know, takes me like a whole day or whatever. This is fun. This is fun. This is relaxing. This is what gets my brain like really energized. Like I think a lot of people don't understand like how fun this is. There's like people who say if you make your hobby your career, you never have to work a day in your life. It's true, except this isn't really my career because I can't make a living off of this yet. But it is true. I enjoy doing what I'm doing everything that I'm doing, which is why I post, which is why I'm able to like post so consistently, aside from, you know, just having like a lot of time in the day. But I post so consistently because I have a lot of fun with this. I think it's gonna be a really, really long time before I run into like any kind of like art block again, because I just haven't had art block in years, you know? And even if I get art block, it's like I know there are things that I can do to like get out of it, like because usually what I do to get out of those slumps is I'll just force myself to draw something that I really, really love. One of the things that I love drawing personally is I love the imagery of people dancing. I think dance is really, really fun to draw because, again, I love the movement and everything. I wish I could animate, but I can't. But I love that kind of stuff, and this whole thing to me is like it again, if I could just do this for the rest of my life, I absolutely would. I think the only time I would ever realistically resort to AI is if I unbelievably like could not like draw anymore, like picking up a pencil causes my wrist to hurt. I think that is an instance where I might consider it, but it's probably like that would probably never be the case. I'm trying to take good care of my wrist. Definitely gonna wear my brace overnight again. It's just kind of getting to that point for me. Considering wearing it at work, but I feel like every time I've worn it at work, I just end up with more pain. So, oh well. But yeah, I love drawing. Nothing in the world is ever gonna like stop me from drawing unless I straight up lose my hand, but you know, I'll find a way. I'll find a way to keep doing whatever it is that I'm doing here. People seem to like it. Let me just further emphasize these sort of things here. Look at that. I think the only way to properly use AI is use it as a reference and instruct others how to draw what's shown to them. Yeah, I can see that. It's like, there are some people who like don't want to, like, it's like we shouldn't demonize AI, and I'm just like, to an extent, yeah, we really shouldn't, because you know, at the end of the day, it is arguably like really cool technology, you know. But it's just, I don't know, AI is just, here's what it is to me, right? Every time there's like new technology that gets introduced into the world, there's a period of time where us humans gotta like scramble to figure out like, okay, how are we gonna what's the word I'm looking for? How are we going to like deal with this? How are we going to like, how are we going to put these regulations in place? How are we going to do this? How are we going to make it so that as many people are protected as possible? Like, take nuclear like stuff, for example. We absolutely have no reason to demonize it, especially nowadays where we have like tons of regulations and safety protocol, yada yada yada, right? AI can definitely get to that point, right? It's a matter of how we get to that point and how fast we get there, I think. Because on one hand, we can absolutely like spend the time and the resources getting it to where AI no longer like you can like truly protect your art. You can like protect your art, protect your copyright and everything. You can make sure that there's like proper AI detectors that detect things and maybe put like an auto label on stuff that definitely is AI. We can have all of that, right? The issue is getting to that point, right? Because ideally we do get to that point with all the regulations and protections that we need, right? It's a matter of like, well, how do we get to that point? How fast can we reach there? And by the time we get there, is the damage already going to be done? And I think in a lot of cases, the damage has absolutely already been done. There's like, for example, like beyond AI art and stuff, right? There are like the kids channels that are like producing cartoons, except the cartoons that they're producing are very dark in their subject matter. Because you know, kids have like that morbid curiosity about them too, and they don't understand what they're watching, and these people don't have morals about what they post online so long as it gets them clicks and money and ad revenue or whatever. And you know, like that is damaging to kids. Like I don't like if you don't know what that content, like the content that these AI kids content farms are producing, it'll be things like these really like cute 3D cat characters and like showing like their insides just spilled and splayed and spattered across the floor, or like these really cute characters getting hit by cars, dead bodies everywhere. And then like there's also the blatant over sexualization of like the female characters too. Like there's with nuclear energy it's different, right? Because it's not like everyone had access to like uranium at home, right? It's nothing like that. The thing is with these content farms is that people do have access. Like the generative AI is like super accessible. Anyone can do it. Anyone can go to an algorithm or whatever and make it generate whatever they want. But so we're at the point where it's like these people who don't really care what children are watching, or these people who don't really care about flooding YouTube's content with like AI stuff, so long as again it gets them like their revenue that they're looking for. Like it's so like it happens on such a regular basis that like I feel like there's so much damage being done outside of like what AI is doing to artists and writers and voice actors and musicians alike. There's like it's so much more than just copyright issue. It is absolutely like horrible to see. And I don't think the regulations are coming in fast enough, and I don't think they're like as effective as they need to be right now is the problem. Like again, it's cool technology. It's probably it could be very helpful someday in the future. But the damage that it has already done, and in such a short amount of time, I don't think it's worth it. I think we should just hit the kill switch on it because it's clearly like nobody's like able to catch up to it right now. Like yes, Instagram has like things where it's required for you to label like whether it's AI or not. Like yes, YouTube also has that similar thing. Yes, a lot of us can tell when something is generated or not, but a lot of people can't still, and a lot of people might even choose to like say that like, well, no, it isn't AI art. They might choose to like we can't force people to tell the truth about the labels, and there's always going to be people with like untrained eyes who can't tell that the content that they're looking at is AI generated. My parents can't tell that some of the content that they're looking at is AI generated. So again, it's like I just think that the damage that is being done right now just isn't worth like the years it's gonna take for these regulations to get put in place. And even so, even if regulations do get put in place, people are always gonna find loopholes because again, this isn't like this isn't technology that's like only like reserved for like labs and stuff like this. This is stuff that is accessible to like the general public. You know, we can't stop them all. Like the ElsaGate content, for example, YouTube Kids only did so much to protect that, or to protect children from that. Like it's not easy, and I don't think it's worth I don't think it's worth like all like the experimental like everything. It's just I think it's a technology that we should just leave behind because we're clearly not ready for it. Most adults can't tell like parents. Yeah, I agree. Well, a lot of older adults like really like up there in age groups, but yeah, I know my parents don't seem to be like thrilled about AI. I will say that. My dad more so my dad is significantly more critical about it than my mom. I don't think my mom really like cares. But that's just kind of how she's always been, so it's like, whatever. She's like the money maker in the house, so I'm not gonna tell her what to do. I can't get kicked out over this. Want to hear a dad joke? Oh boy. We do love a bit of good humor here. But yeah. That's my whole stance on it. Cool technology, just probably not worth it. There's a movie about a ruler who has a bad habit of fibbing called The Lion King. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's pretty good. If there's any like actually speaking of movies, I guess to loop back to that, there is a movie about like a what are they called, like not chronic liars, compulsive liars? I don't remember. It's called Liar Liar. That movie is great. I forget who stars in it. I want to say it's Jim Carrey, but I can't remember. I might be thinking of the wrong movie. But Liar Liar, that's a good movie. I like that the kid's birthday wish comes true, and I think his dad jumps onto a jet airplane. And something else. But by the end of the movie, like, he learns to, like, not lie so much anymore, because it does, like, hurt a lot of the people around him. Very, very fun movie. Do I remember this movie necessarily being for kids? Not really, but my dad still let us watch it, so... Oh well. I still need to see that. I'm surprised you haven't seen it. That is a first. Usually, I feel like, usually when I mention stuff that, like, my dad has, like, shown us, or, like, stuff that's, like, really nostalgic from my childhood, because my dad, made us either watch or listen to it, I feel like a lot of people already, like, know it, you know? So I'm surprised that you haven't seen it, because I think you're older than me, too. I'm only 24. So that is interesting. That is definitely a surprise. Yeah. Oh my god, I love, like, everyone's nostalgia media is always gonna be, like, a little different, because that's just how things work. My mom was more selective about what she allowed me and my brothers to watch when we were kids. That makes sense. That makes sense. My dad was like that, too. It was interesting, but here's the thing, it was a little strange, like, the things he would let us watch and the things he wouldn't let us watch. For example, he did not want us watching Disney Channel at all, for some reason. I do know the reason. We weren't really allowed to watch people kissing on like TV shows. So anytime that happened, my dad would tell us to like look away, right? And I guess a lot of like romantic school drama happened on Disney Channel shows. I don't even know what played on Disney Channel when I was a kid. Because again, we weren't allowed to watch Disney. Disney movies, that was fine. Disney Channel, though, that was a different story. Just to clarify that a little bit more. So we weren't allowed to see that. But then it was, like, really interesting, because my dad would play movies like, my dad would play movies like Forrest Gump around us, or, like, something else. You know, things that were definitely way more adult than Disney Channel. And we were allowed to watch that. We just weren't allowed to again look at the kissing scenes, so not too sure what was going on there, but that was my weird media or banned media when I was little. One of the very few non-family movies we watched when I was a kid was Jurassic Park, one of the best movies of the 90s. Oh yeah, I remember. You're not gonna believe this. I only watched Jurassic Park when I was in my freshman year of high school. In bio class. Now, I completely forget why we were watching it. I can't remember if it was like an end of the year party, or like or if it was relevant to the whatever we were learning in that class at the time. But we did watch it. And you know what's crazy about Jurassic Park? It's crazy to see that like things are like, it's kind of playing out today. I can actually believe that. Oh, okay. So, there's people who grew up vaguely similar to me. Thank God. Every time I mention that, like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this one childhood classic before, every single one of my friends are like, what, did you live under a rock? And I'm like, kinda. I watched, like, different media growing up. Imagine kids not being allowed to watch PG-13 films until they're actually 13. See, it'd be funny if I could actually say that. But again, my dad did let us watch things like Forrest Gump, Green Mile, some other things in there when we were really little, but like, I know those probably aren't really rated 13 or PG-13. Oh, maybe they are. Maybe they aren't. I'm just crazy. Let's see. Green Mile. We'll look at that one. Rated R. Oh my god. You know what? We'll fact check that real quick. Should I put rating? Adapted from... Oh, show me more. Green Mile... it's not ESRB, I know that's for video games. No, not the... Oh my god, this is why I hate English sometimes. It's not homophones. It's a different thing where it's like they sound the same. They are literally the same but mean different things. I didn't bother to watch R-rated movies until I was early to mid-20s. Yeah, I can't. That is a good, that is a very admirable thing, because I think a lot of people would not wait. No, don't. How do I see the rating? Rated PG rating, there we go. Rated R for violence and some, yeah. So again, I was allowed to watch that when I was little. I don't really know why. It kind of astounds me that we were allowed to watch, like, that as children, but we weren't allowed to watch Disney Channel. I'm not gonna ask about my dad's reasoning. I will say that I grew up with, some good movies, just apparently not enough good movies. Yeah. It is admirable to see people who actually do follow, like, the whole, like, rating it stuff and everything. Because I feel like a lot of people don't. You know how many, like... Oh my god, but I feel like I've talked about this on stream before. But Baldur's Gate 3 is a game that's rated M, so like 17 plus or something like that. And there were, like, these children complaining that, Halsin's voice actor, was reposting NSFW content of Halsin, because, you know, art good, NSFW really good. And all he had to say in response was, okay, Zoomer, because I agree. Young children should not be playing Baldur's Gate 3. Like, no, no. Like, I would argue that technically they shouldn't be playing, like, Call of Duty either, but I know they're gonna do it anyways. But I feel like the difference between, like, Call of Duty and Baldur's Gate 3 is incredibly different. Like, kids, they're gonna play their first-person shooter games. They already know, like, a little bit of, like, not necessarily blood and gore, but they're already, like, you know, they're... Like... It just feels worse when, like, there's sexual content involved, and then, like, you're letting your children play it. Like, no, you shouldn't be letting your children play Baldur's Gate 3. Their parents are to blame for not watching what their kids are playing. I absolutely agree. People want to demonize video games so much when in reality the real issue is that you guys just aren't, like, monitoring what your kids are playing. Like, again, I think there's a very distinct difference between, like first-person shooter Call of Duty, like, blood visuals, and straight-up sex scenes in Baldur's Gate 3, you know? I feel like, one, kids are already gonna be kind of exposed to it, so it's like, it's whatever if they see, like, a little bit of, like, blood on the screen. It's another thing when it's, like, you know, nudity. But, I don't know, what do I know? Video games was only, like, the one career that I, like, really wanted for, like, a long time. Yeah. And then the people will just, like, continue to, like, again, demonize video games. It's the dumbest thing in the whole world. Even my dad, I think, recognizes now, like, yeah, it's not the video games, it is something else. To an extent, I will say, if your child cannot make the distinction between, like, video games and real life, absolutely do not have them playing games like GTA or Call of Duty, because you never know what, like, they might try to reenact. Because that's what it is, right? I feel like if your kid has, like, a solid grasp of, like, the distinction between fictitious worlds and the real world, you could probably, like, let them, like, do whatever they want. That's within reason, of course. If they can't, just watch them and, like, teach them. There's not enough, like, there is not nearly enough, parents being parents these days. It's so frustrating to see, and I see it on, like, a daily basis. Those goddamned middle schoolers who come into Carl's Jr., I hate them so much. Video games and movies are always to be blamed for insert horrific incidents happen in real life. Yeah, it's frustrating. To be fair, though, it's like, it's a thing that happens, like, just periodically throughout, like, the ages. I remember in history class, they, one of the interesting things about, the rock and roll genre, and jazz, actually, like, people from, like, the generation prior to those music genres being introduced would be like, oh, that's the music of the devil, right? But then, like, the one generation will grow up with, like, jazz, and it's like, it's fun, but then rock and roll comes in, and the jazz, enjoyers are like, oh, rock and roll is the music of the devil, yada yada yada, and it keeps, like, it's just a never-ending cycle of, like, the older generation just not understanding that, media is okay, or different and new, genres of everything is okay, just, you know, so long as you think critically about it. Oh yes, the satanic panic is what they call it. The satanic panic, I feel like, is just, like, a constant problem that society faces. If parents are willing to be parents, and maybe they aren't willing to be parents, then maybe they should forfeit their right to be one. Oh my god, don't even, like, get me started. There's this one kid at the store at Carl's Jr. does not believe in like, abortion and women's rights, right? Uh, it is so hard. Like, Johnny has tried talking like some sense into him, because, you know, he's young. We can still, like, there's still time to save him, essentially. And it's like, okay, well, yes, like, how should I put this? It's just frustrating, because it's hard to get him to understand, like, well, you aren't the one carrying the baby, for 9 months, and I bet if you had a child right now, you probably have, like, absolutely no, ways to take care of it. So it's like, rather than put the child and the mother too through, like, the hardship that's you know, because there's no guarantee that the kid's gonna, like, that the baby's gonna live, like, a good life after they're born. And there's also no guarantee that the pregnancy is going to go without a hitch, because, you know, there are plenty of instances where, like, abortions are needed to save the mother. It's like, just spare the trouble. It's like there's no reason why a baby should suffer later in life because the parents didn't make good decisions, stuff like that. But he doesn't understand. I'm like, you know, whatever. I don't see him that much because he usually works evenings. But I think he's, like, slowly understanding. Satanic Panic is just, it's always been, like, an insane thing that I think history is just constantly putting up with. It's always something to, I ain't touching that topic publicly. I mean, fair enough. It's what, abortions are, like, one of the things where I can empathize a little bit more with the other side. But I'm still on a whole, like, my body, my choice kind of thing. Because, I don't know, it's what I believe in, at the end of the day. I forgot how we ended up here. It's a very politically charged stream today, but you know what? It's fine. We're almost done with shadows, at least. I am, something that I try to do with, like, a lot of my character designs is that, I try to not make them super complex. I feel like when you do 3D stuff, you can get away with it a little bit more, just because, like, a lot of it is gonna be, like, via texture and everything, and you're not gonna have to worry about, like, oh, well, if I have to draw it from a different angle, how's it gonna look? Because the texture is always just gonna, like, conform to the model that it's placed on. 2D work, however, kind of need it to be a little bit simpler, especially if it's for animation. I like to keep my designs relatively simple just to spare myself. I'm not too worried about, like, drawing stuff that are, like, highly detailed, though. The commission for the Baldur's Gate 3 thing recently. Definitely a lot of, like, complexities that I had to add there, especially with, like, the commissioner's, like, Tav, because they wore the Mind Flayer armor, from what it looks like. That one has so many details, so many, like, grooves and gems and everything. Oh my god, I wasn't even sure how I was gonna tackle that one, but I got through it. Any favorite cryptids? Oh man, Wendigoon is a YouTuber that I love watching. I was absolutely, like, hooked on the Cryptid Iceberg. He hasn't uploaded a new installment of the Cryptid Iceberg in a while, but let me think. I just like to go crazy with miniature details that are later going to haunt me. No, it's so true. One of the things that I remember seeing on a Tumblr post was, we don't say consistency in this house. Like, I really wish I had, like, that kind of mindset, because I need consistency, because my brain is wired like that. Favorite cryptids, though? trying to think. I love Mothman. I think Mothman is a very, very silly guy. I think Mothman is a pretty good one. Bigfoot is also just like a really fun one, just for like how much of a classic cryptid he is. But there's like some really, really cool obscure ones that I can't remember the names of. The Squonk! That one is silly. That one is absolutely hilarious. If you don't know what the Squonk is, my favorite popular cryptid is Nessie, aka Loch Ness. Yeah, Nessie is a good one. Nessie is pretty cool. But the Squonk is one of like the more obscure cryptids that comes to mind for me personally. Imagine, because all the Squonk, the thing that the Squonk is, it's like, imagine like a really, really ugly creature who's always crying because it looks so ugly, and anytime it gets spotted by someone, it just dissolves into a puddle of tears. Like, that's so funny. Like, that's such a... It's so endearingly cute. I love it. The Squonk is very silly. Yeah, that's one cryptid that I really very much enjoy. Oh shoot. How did I end up on this layer? Huh. I haven't been paying attention to what I'm doing. What happened here? How did I get there? Oh well. One that's gotten my attention is the bunyip. Oh, that one sounds familiar, but I don't remember what it does. There's some Filipino ones that are pretty good. One of my favorite ones from Filipino mythology, I guess you can call them cryptids, is the tikwi, or the manananggal in Tagalog. I think Bisaya, we call it tikwi because it's the noise it makes. It'll go tikwi, tikwi, something like that. And one of the cool things about it, I love this detail so much, is first of all the Tagalog part of the whole myth is that she's like a normal woman by day, but at night she separates her torso, so like she like disposes of her legs somewhere. She's just a flying torso with wings at night. The bunyip is an Australian cryptid from Aboriginal folklore that lives in ponds. It's allegedly a man-eater. Oh, we do love our man-eating cryptids. Those are always fun. What a strangely endearing name for something that eats people, though. That's hilarious. But yeah, the manananggal, at night, she separates her the upper half of her body from her lower half, and she sprouts these massive wings, and she flies around, and of course she eats people, because duh. And I think that is about as far as like the Tagalog version of that myth goes, but the Bisaya one takes it a little bit further. So she'll make this noise like tikwi, tikwi at night, right? And the cool thing about it is that the further away it sounds, the closer it is, and I love that detail. Like, that's such like that's so fun to play with. There was another cryptid on Wendigoon's Cryptid Iceberg that he talked about. I think it was down in South America. I forgot the name. But one of the cool things about that cryptid is that its feet are backwards. So that way, if you're like, if it looks like the footprints are going this way and you're going that way, you're actually running towards the creature, which is so cool. Like I love that. As a person who loves world building, as a person who loves creature design, that has to be like one of like the coolest little like details I think I have ever seen. Yeah. I love horror. I'm a huge fan of it. It's just I don't watch a lot of modern horror movies because they're not scary anymore. Descriptions of it have been incredibly various and inconsistent, but what they share in common is that it is a mammalian reptile hybrid. Imagine a walrus with attributes of a dog and a crocodile. So, if I had to guess, maybe like the long teeth, maybe like the face of a dog, but maybe the body of a crocodile? The footprints go well with their screams. Well, the footprints, again, that's the one with the backwards footprints. That one's in South America. The Tikwi or Manananggal, that's in Philippines. So two separate places of the world. But like the concept of like that kind of like trickery with where the creature actually is in position to yourself. I love that. I think it's so fun. Something like that, yeah. Okay, that's definitely a fun one. Yeah. Yeah, sorry if it got confusing there for a moment. I know they sound like very similar in the way that they behave, but two separate parts of the world. I love horror. Speaking of horror, I do have a little bit of a mildly sort of like scary-ish story. Um, I'm not really focused at the moment. No, I getcha. I getcha. That's streams are my streams are just kind of supposed to be background noise, and I'm just chatting with whoever's willing to lend an ear. I do need to show you guys one thing though. I'm in a little bit of horror. I love horror. It's so fun, and I need to. You know how like places will just have like their own like urban legends, and everything, like. They'll just I think this was back in 2018. Let's go to May 2018. You know how places will have like their own sort of like urban legends, like, oh, don't go out at this hour or else yada 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 is gonna come get you. Oh boy. Cringe 2018 gallery. I should probably like delete a bunch of these. So one of the I went to Cal Poly Pomona for my degree and everything, and one of the way that I get there, we take this sort of not really like back road, but like it's a road sort of behind our not behind our neighborhood, outside of our neighborhood, leading into the next city, and the area out there is super empty, not full of anything at all, kind of devoid of like buildings and stuff. And one time, ooh, this is the Philippines trip, hang on. Okay, I found it. One time, this is my urban legend, okay? So, one time, we have to go over to Cal Poly for like registration or some other thing. And I wasn't driving at the time. You know what would make a good horror movie? A film centered around a Kelpie horse. Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be super fun. But, I wasn't driving at the time, so I'm just, like, sitting in the car, kind of looking out the window, because, not much else to look at when, I see this. Let me just full screen this real quick. So, again, this is kind of the area, like, on the outskirts of my city and my neighborhood, because I live, like, kind of on the edge of my city. This is one based on the Nikolavi. I haven't heard of that one, but I'm gonna finish this story real quick. So, as you can see, that is Cookie Monster from Elmo. Just kind of out in a ditch somewhere. Now, this was really funny to see. Oh, sorry. This was really funny to see the first time around, right? Like, this is hilarious. He's bound with barbed wire against, like, a fence pole and everything. Like, that is funny. Like, it's just kind of like in a dark humor kind of sense. Like, it's really funny, like, seeing, like, childhood, things just kind of like this, right? It's like Helmo, for example, or Communist Elmo, Or I don't know why all of my examples are from Sesame Street, but we're gonna run with it. So, me and Johnny and Clive, did Elmo left like this because he ate Elmo's cookies? I don't know. I don't know who left this here. But it's, like, really funny, like, the first couple of times, right? Like, that, like, this is a very, like... like, what is this, right? Like, surrealist kind of insanity, right? Well, one day, the thing falls over, like, face first, or not, maybe not face first, like, on its back. It's, like, separated from its wooden post and just kind of, like, on the ground, right? Now, it's like, okay, well, you'd think that that would be the end of it, right? And, you'd think that would have been, like, the end of it, right? Like, whoever, like, left it there, whether it was, like, a practical joke or something, probably didn't pay too much attention to it. Well, somebody had gone back. Somebody had gone back and tied it back up, this time with even more barbed wire and a bigger wooden board, and just left it there. Now there is a creepypasta, not saying that I believe in creepypastas, but this one was particularly pretty well written. It's called One Man Tag, or One Man Hide and Seek, and the basic idea of that creepypasta is that you take a doll and you fill it with rice, a little bit of fingernail clippings, and you sew it back up and you give it a name. Supposedly, if you leave this doll out, supposedly if you do this right, you can hide and the doll can try to find you, and after a little bit you find the doll and you stab it to end the ritual, and that is that. It is literally hide and seek with the devil, right? Now the whole thing after that too is that you're supposed to dispose of the doll when you're done. Now, I'm not saying that this cookie monster was possessed by the devil at some point, but someone did go through the trouble of tying him again with a barbed wire to a board, as if to chain the demon to its prison, and make sure that it didn't escape. So this is like my little, like, internet horror kind of thing. It's a very, again, just a very, very, like, funny image overall, but you can play around with it. What are my favorite horror movies? Let me think. Because as much of a horror fan that I am, I'm not huge on horror movies. I didn't see a lot of Annabelle. I think I saw, like, the tail end of it. But, like, the Annabelle doll that they used in the movie was just so, like, not creepy that I didn't, like, care too much for it. I really enjoyed It Chapters 1 and 2, the remake. I think they were pretty good. I enjoyed them a lot. What else? One time my dad tried to show me The Others. That one was pretty good, and that one had, like, a really interesting twist at the end. So I enjoyed that one. I remember seeing It Chapter 1 in theaters and my soul was not ready for it. Yeah, it was definitely like enough for me to just kind of be like, what's there in that dark corner of the hallway, because the upstairs hallway, kind of, the light flickers like it really is out of a horror movie. It's, like, really bad on nights where I'm, like, especially paranoid. Let's see, I will say, I don't necessarily watch a lot of horror movies, because, a lot of the modern ones are really, like, bad. And a lot of the classics, I don't think we have those. And, there's, like, certain ones that I avoid because I know there's, like, things that they'll use for, like, the eerie effect that I very explicitly do not like. But if there's any good horror content that I love out there, I love analog horror. I was more familiar with the 90s TV movie. I thought Chapter 1 would be somewhat like it, but let's say What Happened to George caught me off guard. Oh yeah, it was the effects in it Chapter 1, the modern one, so good. So unbelievably effective. It is such a good, it is like visually a fantastic movie. And also you really gotta love the Pennywise dance scene. I don't know why he did that, but it was really funny. But I love analog horror. I think one day I would absolutely love to have a stream where we react to analog horror. Because I think analog just plays so much more effectively on like the whole concept of dread. When Pennywise bit George's arm off, I was legitimately like, oh my dog, real. No, yeah, that movie had some good gore in it. I was very, very satisfied. It was very loud though. The one thing about horror movies too for me is that they're very loud and they kind of hurt my ears. Like, I definitely enjoyed them. I'm not plugging my ears because I'm scared of the jump scare. I'm plugging my ears because in a theater it's super loud. It's like ridiculously loud. But yeah, one of my favorite analog horror series on YouTube is Vita Carnis. I love it so much. It's so brutal. They use practical effects. The world building is insanely cool. Oh my god, and they know how to like play their monster. The guy Darian Kilroy, I believe is his name. He knows how to like show his monsters. They're so good. It's such a freaky world building. Another speaking of analog horror, ever heard of Man in the Suit? Yes, that one, the Godzilla one. I'm so sad that it got canceled. Because I love like what a fun idea of like somebody melting into the suit and becoming this creature, and he like goes around and like he looks like reptilian but his eyes are like bloodshot and human. Like, oh, it's so silly, but it's so good at the same time, and it keeps happening to all these people, and like they keep experimenting and they keep filming. Oh my god. That was fun. That one was really fun. I'm so sad that it got canceled. Oh my god. Mandela Catalog is another one. I got a funny story about this guy. Scary face in a moment here. Mandela Catalog. Oh, I haven't seen him in so long. Oh my god, this might be one of the stupidest things. I feel like crying seeing it. That's how I know when I'm like really scared. If I I'm going to open a new tab. If I feel like I'm on the verge of tears, that's when I know that I'm like terrified. Okay, so scary face in, well, maybe not scary to some of you, but scary face in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's a lot smaller on stream than I thought it would be. Oh, this guy. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I have some funny stories regarding this silly, demon fella. Gabriel in the Mandela Catalog is effectively Satan. I don't think there's any denying that based on where the story has gone. The whole story of the Mandela Catalog is that Satan, at some point, overthrew God and has taken over religion, and him and his army of demons are working to take over the world or something. That's basically what it is. And this one jump scare in the one episode of the series, oh my god. It's so uncomfortable to look at. It looks like if Tim Burton drew Sam Nissen. I'm assuming it's pronounced Nissen because KN and stuff. Anyways, Now I really... Kinnison. Oh, there we go. I see. But, yeah, I'm not huge on, like, Uncanny Valley stuff. Like, that, this kind of thing is absolutely terrifying to me. But, you know, even so, Wendigoon's analysis on the Mandela catalog was, like, good, like, sleepy background noise at the end of the day. And I would fall asleep to it. Now, the one problem with that is that I do kind of get sleep paralysis sometimes. It doesn't happen that often anymore, but in this particular instance it did. So one time I'm taking a nap on the couch after we came home from, like, I don't know, it was like late lunch, early dinner, something like that. And fall asleep on the couch, I have my phone like this, kind of like resting on a pillow that's on top of me. And I wake up, I can't move, my eyes... I can't move, my eyes are open, and I'm like, oh shit. Wendigoon, because Wendigoon does play the clip of the jump scare in his video. So as I have, like, sleep paralysis, this guy's face comes up. And I'm like, oh, this is bad, this is bad. At least I'm, like, conscious enough to know, like, what I'm going through and that I recognize that this is a YouTube video, but oh my god. Getting sleep paralysis with this guy on screen was not fun. That was awful. But if there was anything worse than that, it was the dreams that I was having with this figure in there. So, I'm gonna take him off screen now because he's very unnerving to look at, and I would like for him to stop staring at me. So, I have some of the worst dreams that I've had in, like, recent memory is I'll be driving and I lose control of the car somehow. And this has happened, like, I think twice, maybe 3 times, but I can't remember the specifics of the third one. But, like, the first time it happened, it was like I'm dreaming that I'm coming home from work late one night. And again, the whole thing about the Mandela catalog is that religion is, like, twisted, and it's not good in that universe. And there's a church outside my neighborhood that I drive past every single time I go to work or come back home, right? So, I think, his face, Gabriel's face, had appeared somewhere, as I was passing the church. And the road around that church, it's not really, like, straight, it is curved a little bit. What ended up happening as I was going along that curve is that when his face showed up, I lost control of the car and ended up crashing into the corner just outside of my neighborhood. And it was insane, and it was like, why is this happening? And then, another thing that ended up another dream that I had, I think me and Johnny were at a gas station, and, you know, there's, like, little, like, there's, like, a little LED display for my, or digital display, I should say, not necessarily LED, for my radio. His face, again, appeared on the radio display, and I was trying to back out of, like, my spot in the gas station, but every time I even, like, just barely pressed my foot on the gas to back out of it, the car would just jerk, like, way far back. And then, like, I'd try to, like, fix it, like, turning the wheel or putting it back on drive, and it just jerked forward, and it was just like, we're gonna hit something, like, get me out of here. Oh my god. Some of the most surreal dreams I have ever had. Now, I'm thankful that it hasn't happened again. Jeez, those were, like, some of the worst dreams I've ever had, I think. So, yes, Mandela Catalog has, absolutely, like, traumatized me to an extent. I will be watching the silly analog horror content again. However, I do love it. Like, I love being scared. I think it's really cool when I get scared like that. Oh man, another analog horror series that absolutely, like, rattled me when I was watching it, The Oldest View. 'Cause this thing, I think we definitely need to have like an analog horror watch party on stream one day. Maybe we'll get some people. I think we'll definitely like get some people maybe on VC on like the Discord server. It's so it's hang on. Why am I? This is a much bigger image. This thing. I don't know how well that's showing up on on OBS or stream there. Oh my god. It's so massive and so imposing. And when you watch it like move around in the oldest view, that series. Oh my god. To me personally, it's a lot scarier like this because when you actually look at like this model in the daylight, it's not that bad, right? You can tell that this is a beard and long hair, yada yada yada. When you look at it like this part of like the beard or mustache or whatever suddenly looks like a gaping mouth. And it looks so menacing. Like, I love the contrast between like, oh, look how kind he is here, then... Yeah. This is definitely a terrifying thing. There is the one Wendigoon meme where it's like, looks like we're gonna have to kill this guy Wendigoon, but it's Mr. the oldest view. But yeah. Oh my god, I love analog horror. And I also love horror stories as well. Creepcast has been wonderful for that because they read so many stories and the stories are so scary sometimes. And sometimes they're really funny. One of the scariest stories that they ever read on Creepcast, and it's still my favorite one to this date. It's still my favorite episode, still my favorite story they've ever read is Pen Pal. Because that one does such a good job at, like, making this monster so, like, haunting and unknown. It's so beautifully written. And I think, I think what it is that I just have, like, really good memories of, like, watching the episode for the first time. Because, you know, Wendigoon and Meat Canyon, they joke around a lot. So it's like, I'm there laughing with them, and then I'm also there just, like, terrified with them, just watching the thing, you know. Like, it's such effective horror. I love it so much. I wish I could write horror. I'm not good at it. I remember I used to, like, try writing horror when I was in, like, my creepypasta phase, but, yeah, that... we don't think about that. I was joking around with Johnny, like creepypasta is like my villain origin story, and he's like, are you sure it wasn't Warrior Cats? And I'm like, Warrior Cats is like one thing, because at least that got me more into like story writing and like world building and like a more like fantasy like approach to stuff. And at least I was never crushing on the characters in Warrior Cats, because you know they're cats. Creepypasta, however, absolutely crushing on the monsters in there, and like 9 times out of 10 the monsters were serial killers, so we don't think about my questionable taste in men back in high school. It always comes up. I should draw creepypasta again one day, just as like a Halloween thing. I think that'd be good. I think, there were so many, like, creepypastas out there that were just fanfics of, like, previous ones. It was crazy. Movie called Annihilation. I just realized I'm going to sleep soon after a load of creepy horror imagery. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I have not heard of Annihilation, I think. No, I did. If I have ever heard of a movie, like, remotely like similar to that title, it was Alien, and I don't think I ever watched the original Alien, but I did watch some sequel of Alien. It was the one where like there was that human hybrid of the xenomorph, where the lady was like, kind of like looked at it like it was her own child, but then at some point she was like, I'm gonna hit the button on the airlock and kill this thing. That definitely traumatized me to a certain extent, mostly because of how human it looked. And like they just had that thing sucked through the airlock. It was just kind of like, resurrection, is that what it was? It's fine, I don't get creeped out by images unless I look at it too long. Alright, that's good. Well, I hope you sleep well after all of that. Alien resurrection. Yeah, let me look at that thing. Alien resurrection hybrid. This thing infinitely more scarier than the xenomorph in my opinion. There's something so deeply wrong about the humanoid face. Especially in the fact that it literally just looks like a human skull. Oh, but he's so baby too. Like, I'll joke around, casual alien here. Like, I kind of love it. Like, I feel so bad for it. Because it's like, it's so like he really is kind of just a baby. I think given time, this thing could have like acclimated to like human culture and everything. He's very cute. To an extent. But seeing this as a child, this was definitely traumatizing. And this... Oh, forgot to include fan. I'm an Alien fan. Oh, yeah. Oh my god. I feel like... I understand this is supposed to be like a horror movie and everything. Oh, but my... The baby xenomorph. How do you spell... Oh my god. Clive showed me the chest bursting scene. God freaking damn it, where is it? This is not it. Oh, there it is. Oh my god. Clive showed me the chest bursting scene and I was fully expecting to be like grossed out by it. Oh, but this... Hang on. Xenomorph baby chest burst alien. He's so cute! Like... Can I find like a proper image of this little bingy wingy creature? That's what me and Clive call it. It's so cute! And, like, maybe some of you think it's gross, but this thing is adorable. Like, oh, hang on. Like, look at this goober. Look at this little guy. Oh, he's your baby. He's such a baby. Honestly, like, deserved. Like, you're telling me we gotta sacrifice a crew member just so we can have one of these little fellas running around? I don't mind. Look at him. He's such a little baby. He's so cute. Oh my god. Chest burster is what they're called. Yeah. They're so... Like, it's such a cute little creature. I love it so much. I need one. I need one myself, because I don't know how to describe this other than, like, it's adorable. Like, I thought the scene was gonna be, like, so much more well, looking at it's pretty bloody, but I thought it was gonna be a lot worse, but then this thing popped out. Tell me why my first reaction was like, oh! Oh, look at him! He's got no eyes, he's got little sharp teeth. He kind of looks like a cookie cutter shark. Like, he kind of looks like one of these things. I promise they're cute. He kind of looks like that. Sharks are adorable. It kind of looks like that. Just like, oh, little baby. Kind of, yeah. I mean, he definitely looks more like a penis than a penis with a mouth than anything, but still, the resemblance is like kind of there. But yeah, I love this chest burster. It's amusing to me that you think it's cute, but scared of spiders. Look! Spiders look like... Okay. There was an image down here. Where did it... This thing. This other thing. I would be... I hope this stream doesn't get taken down because of this. I don't think so. Oh, well. They have plushies. Honestly, I might get one. This thing right here, this is terrifying to me. I know, because it will absolutely grab me, and I think I just don't like the idea of being grabbed, and spiders, again, look like dismembered hands crawling on the floor at really, really fast speeds. This is just a... This is just a worm. Like... This is a leech. This is a worm. It's very cute. He's a little wormy boy with hands. The hybrid, though, there is something... Hybrid Lamau. Hybrid xenomorph. This, however... well, I guess this is kind of all I have. This was terrifying, but... I do feel so bad for it, though, because it's like, look how sad his eyes are. It's like, oh, I want to give it a chance on Earth so bad. We didn't need to kill it off. Maybe he's a little gross, but, like, you just gotta clean it off. Look at how cute he is. Look at those pleading eyes, like, please! Like, looking at it now, I can definitely say, like, it's more, cute, than it is terrifying to me. Maybe a little gross, maybe a little goopy, but, like, oh, like, how could you say no to those eyes? I think I'm just weird. I think I'm just a very, very strange person at the end of the day. I am weird, aren't I? I'm never changing, though. I'm gonna enjoy being, like, my weird self. Everyone's got their interests. Yeah, that's true. I'm not like a huge Alien fan, at the end of the day. Like, I don't think I ever really saw, like, the first movie. I never, like, again, it was, I think I really only saw, I only ever really saw that one. It was, like, the clip. I mean, I like MLP, which is objectively weird. Yeah, but, like, how should I put this? My Little Pony is kind of like Steven Universe, but with horses, to my understanding. You know, it's got, like, good lessons, it's got some pretty good action, I think. I mean, some people will view it as weird. That's just because we have, like, the weird, like, the really weird community of people that were, like, fetishizing the characters. That's the only reason. Alright? Look, I don't mind if people like My Little Pony. I don't mind if people like yada yada yada, right? Anytime there's, like, a really bad, like, rep of a fan base, it's probably because of, like, a weird, like, subgroup that's, like really, really, like, icky about it. The fan base of MLP is where the majority of it. I don't think that's the case. No, because, again, it's like with the Pokemon fandom, right? Like, it's a pretty chill community for the most part, but then you get to those weird people who are, like, really... like, Pokemon is a fine community to be a part of, right? Like, it's a popular IP, fun anime, fun games, yada yada. But then there's always, like, that weird minority of people who kind of ruin it for everyone. Like, the people who, like, fetishize Gardevoir, I bet, are the same people who fetishize the horses in the characters in MLP. Because that's all it is to me at the end of the day. It's just, like, the weird people who are, like, over-sexualizing something that really, really shouldn't be sexualized. That's what it is to me. I don't think the fandom is weird. I think it's just, like, I think there's just weird people. Like, really weird people. But yeah. Well, I don't know the percentage of it, but, you know, But you know what part of the fan base I'm talking about. Yeah, no, we're all aware of like that part of the fan base because every fan base kind of has that weird part. Take for example, Baldur's Gate 3. Um, there were definitely some people who were being like way too freaky with Astarion, and it's like I know he's a fictional character, and I know it doesn't necessarily affect him depending on like we can portray him however we want, but I think there's a level of respect that kind of goes with a character whose backstory is that he was a slave in like a very sexual manner, like people putting him in like maid outfits or like the very skimpy like maid outfits, or like putting like chains on him. It's like, okay, did you like, yes, you can technically do that, but did you listen to his backstory is what I mean. Like that's like a really like icky part of like the BG3 fandom that I kind of just have a little bit of a problem with. Again, same thing for Pokemon, because again, if they're not fetishizing Gardevoir or Lopunny, they're fetishizing the 12-year-old trainers, which is just like, okay, guys, please stop, you're incriminating yourselves, like even more than you were previously. I'm content with being part of the Brony community for nearly 13 years now. Yeah, I'm absolutely positive that like the majority of the Brony community is like super chill. Again, like every fandom has like that weird icky part that nobody likes to associate themselves with. It's exactly why like when you grow up and realize that, you learn to be like proud of like the community that you're in, just because like you know that you don't you know that you're normal, and like the rest, like there's just like that one group that isn't and ruins it for everyone. That's all it is. Alrighty. I don't think I've hit save in a while either, too, so let me do that to end stream, because we are there at the ending point now. But yeah, fun yap session today. Got into some very, very interesting topics. Let's see. So I'm gonna get this finished up today for sure. Should be ready for tomorrow. I'll have to write up some more custom eladrin lore, because eladrin lore is confusing, and every time I tried to find like an answer on the Forgotten Realms wiki, they simply did not have an answer that was clear and concise. So I'm like, you know what, I'll just make up my own. It's my homebrew. I can do what I want. So next stream is going to be Thursday. Probably going to be playing some more Hollow Knight, or alternatively, I know Clive really wants to play Left 4 Dead because all three of us have it now, and he's really been into that. So might even do some of that. We might have our first stream where all three of us are present. So that might be pretty exciting. Again, I'm gonna get this finished. I'm gonna also do whatever it is that I need to do for the day. I have work at 9 tomorrow, so I need to keep that in mind. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming around and watching. It really means the world to me, and I hope the rest of you have an either good rest of your day or a wonderful night. Love you all. Goodbye.